they're either going to be fine or they're going to be shit. Why? It's like,
This is it, yeah.
oh, I'll ask Matt if he wants to.
But yeah, I think we are live now actually. So I'm just checking it on there. So yeah, not to. Is he calling? Yeah, that's working. 30 people tuning in, so I'll give a quick intro. Happy New Year, everyone. We're back at Sheffield for the BMC Indoor meeting. It's the second one of the year, and believe it or not, Glasgow actually played host on Friday night. Lindsay Sharp in fine form, 128 high over 600 meters, so she's back on the track. Great to see. Ben McMillan won the 3K on Friday as well, 6th of January, 8:02, so he would have been in good company. There's a good 3K on today. I'm sure he would have been enjoyed to be in, but he chose to stay a little bit closer to home. The Sterling man obviously competing in Scotland as well. So, but now we look ahead to today. What have we got in front of us? We've got 16 races from 800 meters to 3,000 meters, just under 3 hours of middle distance racing. There's going to be live results throughout the day on Roster Athletics app and, of course, on the BMC website after the event. And perhaps the race of the day could be Jake WIGHTMAN, the world champion over 1,500 meters. He's going to run in the 3,000 meters today. We saw him last year at this very event, 7:50.97 was his time, but he played second to place second behind Osama Meslik. Impressive run from him. And so we'll see what he can do today. Can he go one better and take the win? It's always a good indication of how you're wintering. You know, are you heading in the right direction? You don't have to be at your best. Everyone acknowledges that, even true athletics fans. But you do have to be heading in the right direction and in a good place, heading into what's a kind of a crucial time this indoor season, and then the springtime and the summer as well. So I can run you through the timetable just quickly. We've got to start the day at 12:15, so you've got 10 minutes or so just over before the first event. The men's 800B race is going to kick-start this BMC Indoor meeting in Sheffield. And then we've got the men's 800A race as well. That should be very, very hot. Zach Curran, Ben Murphy, probably the ones to watch in that one. Mike Wilson as well. The women's 800A race following up with that. Women's 800B, 800C, and the 800D race off at 12:40. A couple more 800 races before we get into the 1500s at 1:10 So we're all 800s until 1:10 So an hour and 10, just under an hour of 800-meter racing, and then we got the 1500s, which will see us through all the way through to a 1:45, where we've got that 3,000-meter A race. So if you are interested in watching the world champion, you should be, and many others competing in that 3,000-meter race. That's off at 1:45. Can we see a sub 7:50 clocking? Sat next to me is James Rhodes. He's just getting the camera out. We know he's famous for his pictures on the track, but he's going to help out a little bit of commentary work today as well. James, you were here last year. You weren't here last year. I do apologize. I thought you were. But yeah, what do you make of WIGHTMAN coming out today? What do you think's, you know, going to be a good performance for him this year?
I think for the 3,000, it's going to be interesting to see what he does. Obviously, we've seen him do a couple of decent park runs over the Christmas period, so it's good to see him doing his over distance as usual. I imagine it's going to be a run out before he drops down to the 15 and looks hopefully towards the European Indoors in a couple of months' time.
Yeah, I think news is out on the European Indoors. We don't know whether he's going to compete there or not, so we're kind of waiting, I guess, over the next few weeks to see if he commits. We know he's committed to a fast 2,000 meters in Birmingham, where he's going to attack, I believe, a British record. So that should be very exciting as well. But we've got a massive indoor season ahead of us. What are you most looking forward to this indoor season, James?
Oh, I think there's plenty to be excited about, as we've seen in the last few years. I think the competition for some of the middle distance races is going to be fantastic, particularly looking at the 2/800s. And I think with the revised qualification system from UKA for the Euro Indoors, where everyone has to run a certain time in 2023, it's not just going off past form, so it is almost a clean slate. So it is going to be interesting to see athletes who have to come out and run certain times to get on the plane to Istanbul.
Yeah, so off a talking point is that qualification system, isn't it? Do you want to run us through it a little bit? Can you do that? I mean, I do appreciate it is a big old PDF document, isn't it? But what's the basics of the qualifying system for the European Indoors?
So I'll break it down into two different sets. You've got the, I'll call it track races up to, but not including the 3,000, and then the 3,000 and the field events. So for the 60, 400, 800, 15, athletes have to run the European Athletics Qualification Standard, and that's that. The UK have said they won't accept any European athletics invites through the ranking system. For the 3,000 and the field events, it's a bit different. So athletes can run the standard, or there is a second UKA standard that's a bit kinder. And if athletes have run that time this year and get a ranking invite from European Athletics, I believe they should then get an invite from UKA to join the team.
I think that's fair. I think with the 3K, the men's was 744, and now and that UKA standard is 750. I think that's fair. Given our depth over 8 and 1500, they didn't need to make the standard any weaker. It's already going to be very hard to compete for. But, you know, in the 3,000 meters, I think that they probably did, because not many of our guys will run inside 744. If they do, they might be a big name and choose not to even run the European Indoors as well.
Definitely. I think it is. It's an interesting one to see how it goes, and it does give athletes who maybe would have seen the original standard and thought that's maybe out of the reach a shot at getting a place in the team, which they might not otherwise. That is it's a nice step to see.
Yes, and then on the women's side, it's gone from 8:39 to 8:48. We know Hannah Nuttall, she's running here today. She ran 8:58 pre-Christmas. Can she attack 8:48?
I think definitely. I think she's certainly shown the form recently, with both last summer and, as you said there, in that pre-Christmas race over 3,000 to have a good shot at it. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see if she attacks it. The pace today, I believe, is going out to run the standard, so it will be interesting to see if she can hold on to that for 15 laps.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we'll let James get the camera ready. I'm sure lots of athletes depend on his photos out here today. So often a core member of the athletics community up and down the country. But things are warming up nicely. We're just under 10 minutes to go before the first race of the day. We'll check back in with James a little bit later on, but I can run you through the start list. We got Lewis Watts, he's an under-23 man from Aberdeen, so he's made the journey down, a 151 personal best. Archie Parkinson, Jack Kinraid, now he's an under-17, more on him to come, but he's a very impressive under-17. He's an English schools champion over 800, a bronze medalist in 2022. And 151 for an under-17 is very, very good going. Once you start hovering around that 150 mark, it's a bit of a barrier for the under-17s and even the under-20 age groups. So he's got a bright future ahead. The Shrewsbury man, Finley Hutchinson from Notts, 150. Linton Gardner, Kristen Byron, and Ben Gardner as well, the under-23 from Blackheath and Bromley. He's a 150 man, and rumour has it he might be roped into a little bit of pacing later on in that men's 3,000 meters as well. So often, the BMC, they play host to so many races, and what they do a brilliant job is finding pacemakers out there to help with the athletes. The races wouldn't be much without these pacemakers on the circuit as well. But I do know the organisers, they do have a little sleepless night whether the pacemakers will turn up or not, or turn up in good shape or not. That's another question. When we talk about pacing the likes of Jake Whiteman, you really have to be on your best form, even though you're going to pace him for 4, 5, 6 laps of the track. Can they get to 1,500 or so? But the 800, not so many issues in that. But just, yeah, a word on Ben Gardner. Yeah, he's a 22.5 200-meter man and 48.6 400. So he's got some terrific sprint speed. But he has also competed over the steeplechase, which I did notice, being a steeplechase fan myself and having dabbled in a bit of steeplechase as well. So I thought a very, very impressive range to be a 22.5 200-meter runner and a steeplechaser as well, and a 150 800-meter man. So, but yeah, just a little more on, you know, what we can look out for today, what the times we're looking out for with the European qualifying standards been released, and that is obviously going to be in March. The British Championships, British Indoor Championships, is the 18th and 19th of February. So athletes can also gain qualification for that. But some of the top ones will want to be gaining qualification for the European Championships as well. And so the qualifying times for the British Indoors, I'll run you through them now. The 3,000 meters is 8:08 for the men, or they can qualify off a 5K personal best from last summer, and that's 13:50. So many athletes maybe won't even compete indoors except for the British Championships, because they'll be able to get an invite on their 5,000 meter time. The women, 9:35 is a 3,000 meter time. indoors, and 16:10 is their 5K standard as well. So that's the 3K qualifying marks. A lot of races will be around that sort of pace and paced in order for athletes to achieve those standards. 1,500 meters, 350 for the men, or again 346 on your outdoor time to gain an invite. And the women, 433 and 425 will be the outdoor time they can gain qualification from as well. And then, of course, the 800s to finish up 152. So anyone inside 152 today on the men's side will gain an automatic invite to the British Indoor Championships or a 150 outdoors. And the women, 210.5 is the indoor standards, or 209.5 as well. And James, we've just been joined by some athletics royalties. Steve Cram is in the house, just next to us.
Indeed, it's quite well, it's good to see various athletes coming out and giving this a watch, as well as the coaches and everyone else. Yeah.
Absolutely. Not only Steve Cram, Jeff Whiteman, old friends catching up. Of course, we saw Jeff Whiteman do a terrific job at announcing on his son. Win the World Championships in the summer. Was that your favourite moment perhaps of 2022, James? I know you probably have many.
I think undoubtedly it was a real treat to see and to be in that stadium. So to hear Jeff commentating on that live as well.
Yes, absolutely. He's sorting himself out. He's going to be announcing today at the meet as well, so we're in good company. We're situated just right above the finish line, right amongst the crowd, and of course the officials who do a brilliant job at putting on these meets. So just a few presentations to go before we get started with the BMC. And if you are just joining us, please note you can follow along live results on the Roster Athletics app. It comes under the England Athletics Senior Under-20 and Under-23 Combined Event Championships, but the BMC is within that. It's got a nice sandwich between 12:15 and 3 o'clock. But like I said, 16 races ahead of us. The second one of the year, and I think the BMC put on the best part of 50 races across 2022. So it's a big, from now until September, the action does come thick and fast. So here we go then, race one, just walking over to the start. I can see the athletes now. We have 414, Ben Gardner. Now, watch out for him. I spoke about him before, and terrific 200 speed and over to steeplechase. He's going to wear a Kenyan all-in-one singlet, which is pretty brave. Of him, we got 410. I can see Jack Kinraid, the shooty man. He's going to be wearing a blue vest. I believe it's a BMC Academy vest. Perhaps a Shrewsbury club vest as well. He's going to be in blue shorts. And he's wearing 410, the under-17 English schools champion, bronze medalist last year as well. And ran his PB down in Watford, 151. So those two will get more of an indication on what their pace to be, but I can suspect it's going to be around about 153. Would be a good clocking early for these gentlemen. This time of year, I always find, James, the distance races, they're much closer to their personal best. They're sort of good times, 3K, 5K, but to operate near your PB over 800 this time of year, given the Christmas period, given the weather outside, if you can't have access to an indoor track, is very hard, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think anyone who comes out here and gets close to a PB in their first race of the year, 8 days into 2023, will be a very impressive thing to see. But as we've always seen, the 800 meters at the BMC tend to be very competitive, and everyone can get off themselves.
That's exactly that. So we've got 4 lining up. Jack Kinraid is one. Archie Parkinson right on the inside from Corby, 151.49 personal best. Jack Kinraid next to him, 410. The under-17 on the outside of him. We've got 413, Christian Byron from Birchfield, 151. Personal best of 150 though. He is actually the fastest in the field. And Ben Gardner, 150.5, right on the outside, 414. So away they go then. Let's see who breaks first. Only 4 in the race, so it shouldn't be too much problem breaking on that far side, but it is only after about 50 meters they do break. It can often be carnage in the 800 meters, and it is Parkinson who takes the lead early on. Let's have a good look. They're well inside 15 seconds through the first 100, as you'd expect. Nice and strung out. This is almost perfect for an 800 meter runner, especially indoors. A lot of pushing, a lot of shoving. Just you want a smooth ribbon, looking good. 26 high, 27 low through to... You're looking at around about 53, 54 for the 400. That's about right, you know. And then can they string that back with a 55, 56 high to operate near 150? He's got a nice gap on Gardner at the moment. Gardner just biding his time a little bit. Byron just behind him, just looking to hang on. They just want to keep the gap. Look out for Kinraid at the back. Keep an eye on his time. The under 17 man. Here we are, 53 high, looking very smooth round the bend. He's looking very good. He's time trialing this all by himself. They've got no pacemaker in this one. No one ahead of him, and he's looking very, very smooth. He's clearly done his speed work over the Christmas period. Gardner just looks to be battling back. He's going to have a race on his hands with Byron as well around the bend. They come into the home straight then for the penultimate time. Parkinson, just like he has all race long leading, he still looks very relaxed. He's been so even. Through he goes. That was a 28 mid 200 though, so he needs to bring it home now. Byron and Gardner are battling for second and third in the positions they have been all race, but Parkinson does look like he's got this one all but wrapped up. What's he going to do round the bend then? 50 meters or so to go. Gardner now going to fight back. He's going to fight off Byron. He's done well to keep the inside. So hard to overtake on this track. Parkinson brings it home. 151.32. That's actually a personal best for him. Fantastic running from the boys there. In comes Kinraid as well. Always tough when it strings out so quickly like that, James. They pretty much all ran, you know, single file on their own, pretty isolated all race long. It's a hard effort, but how impressive did Parkinson look?
Yeah, that looked very easy. I mean, out from the gun, he was in the lead running by himself, and yeah, it's interesting to see how they're going, particularly with an unpaced race. It's a bit of a unlikely scenario in some of the BMC races.
You know, I actually think being unpaced almost helped him out a little bit. He could go off at his own pace. Of course, indoors you have there's no wind. You don't have to rely on good weather. You've got perfect weather conditions inside. And for 800 meter running, it's warm as well. Your muscles are loose. I think it almost played into his favor. No one cutting him up, no one pushing him. He was just out there on a good old time trial. Let's turn our attention now. 20 past 12. The men's 800A race. The Speed Demons, if you like, we're going to have a look who I can see warming up just down on the start line. Zach Current, look out for him. You can't really miss him. The Windsor man. He's extremely tall. Got a great rangy stride. Often the tall athletes will struggle indoors, but it's good to see him here competing over the indoors. 146.7 personal best. Terrific running. Does represent Ireland. Spent a lot of time out at Baylor University where he really did work on his speed. Of course, the likes of Michael Johnson came through Baylor University. 46.9, his 400 meter personal best. Way back in 2016 though. Interestingly, actually, Lewis Moses is coaching Zach Curran at the moment. We've got Michael Wilson in the race as well, the Sunderland man. He's going to be wearing the all blue, black shorts. A 148 personal best, 341 1500. More commonly known as a 1500 meter man is Mike Wilson. On the inside of him, Angus Harrington from Blackheath and Bromley, 148 personal best. 405 is Henry Fisher, Blackheath as well. So a couple club mates in this one. Ben Murphy right on the outside. Now look out for him. He's had a terrific last couple of years under the guidance of Mark Hookway. He's now a Tonbridge Club record holder. I know how much that means to him. 147.1 is 800 best, and he is the Southern champion as well. He missed out on the indoor final in 2022, British indoor final. Well, away they go then. This one a little bit more bogged out. 5 of them in this one, of course. Indoors, only a 6-lane track. Who's going to take up the early run in? I would look to Zach Curran. He's got such good 400 speed. He's always never far from the front. Also, given his stride length, he wants to have a good clear run as well. It's a lot closer, a lot tighter up this one. And Ben Murphy just slots in third at the moment on the shoulder of Henry Fisher as well, the under-23 man. But Curran out in front, 28 low. This is quite comfortable for these gentlemen. Like I said, with the speed of Curran, this is going to be very relaxed. They almost looked to each other early on to see who was going to take it up. It's going to be expected to be a big wind-up. Ben Murphy biding his time, perhaps a pretty experienced indoor specialist, did a lot last year. Like I said, Southern champion as well. He went to the British indoors last year, just sitting on the shoulder. That's where you want to be, out of all the trouble. But Curran just extended it a little bit now. Let's see what his 200 split was as they come through in 56. Hasn't picked it up much at all. 56.8. They're going to have to go some to even beat Archie Parkinson's time of the previous heat. So this is the men's 800A race. Through in 56.8. Here goes Zach Curran, extending down the back straight. He's almost deceiving when he opens up his stride length like that. Mike Wilson, and here comes the Cambridge man, Angus Harrington. I know he's got the strength work in, competed at the varsity cross country in December as well, looking very good. Here they come, fighting for position, 124. Harrington, a tall lad himself as well, just on the shoulder of Curran. Looks like he's just leaning in on him. Often you see that indoors. Harrington wants to get in front round the bend, surely. Curran's not going to let him. Look out for Wilson. He's run a smart, can he race in third? Here goes Curran now, just extending. Has Harrington used it all up? Wilson's going to come around the outside. Zach Curran has led all race long. Look at Fisher come through on the line, 151.5. What a run from Fisher. Well, so often indoors, it's the man who just bides his time and is patient on the inside the whole way and just swings wide with 50 meters to go off that turn. Curran, I thought, did well to hold off Harrington at a crucial point in the race. Athletes almost panic with 200 meters to go indoors. They want to get to the inside. Ben Murphy as well. Just winding up there in fifth position for him, Mike Wilson. So all of them inside, probably about 152. 151.5 was the unofficial time on the clock. Good running from them. Like I said, it's hard to be an 800-meter man in January. You've got to really have done the speed work to feel fluent, and it kind of showed through the first couple laps there. Everyone kind of looking at each other, who's going to take it up. Well, now we're quickly followed by the women's 800A race, and the standout runner in this one has to be Izzy Boffey. 2:01.24, her personal best. She's got 3 seconds on the next best in the field, Iris Downs, the under-20. She's a European under-23 gold medalist. She's rocking the very colourful number 430 on her, the very colourful New Balance outfit. But Molly Hudson's going to line up on the inside, the Derby athlete. I think we've got a full field in this one, which is great to see. Everyone making the trip up to or down to Sheffield. Grace Van Zagnu from Crawley, 2:07, her personal best in here as well. Alice Bennett, an under-20 from Kettering. A little on her in the Kettering vest is a red and white stripy vest in lane 2. She's second in the UK School Games 800, third of 800 in the English schools. So watch out for her. And on the outside of her, she's in good company. Well, isn't this good to see? Bennett's going to have Boffey in her sights, so the under-20 athlete. On the inside of Isabel Boffey, Anna Clark on her outside. Iris Downs as well in the all-blue, the under-20 athlete. Indian King, Wigan and District, 2:10. Season's best last year and 2:07 personal best.
Iris Downs. Then hit number 4 for Woodford Green with Essex Ladies, Anna Clark. Then we have the 4 times European age group champion with a best of 2:01 for Enfield and Haringey, Birmingham University, Isabel Boffey. Then sharing the English schools bronze medalist last year with a best of 2:07, Alice Bennett.
Well, here they are, then athletes just lining up on the start line. Hudson, Agnew, Bennett, Boffey, Clark, Downs, and King. A full field in this one. 7 in Bennett and Boffey. Bennett and Agnew, sorry, sharing lanes. It's the yellow vest of Crawley and the Kettering vest. The red and white stripe for Bennett. Well, what can Izzy Boffey do here today then? She gets away nice. Is this going to be a time trial again? No pacemakers in these 800-meter races, so it's going to be all eyes on her. She is the standout candidate, but it is early for an 800-meter race. She will probably look to ease into it and extend. I just saw Luke Gunn and Hannah England before. Luke Gunn obviously guiding her, coaching her up at Birmingham University, doing a terrific job there, managing this girl's talent. She was third outdoors, a huge breakthrough over the British Championships this year as well. Boffey comfortably in front, 29 high, just where she wants to be. Got a nice gap on the field as well. Hudson leads that chase pack with the under 20 Downs as well. 2 under 20s, Downs and Bennett. Look out for them two in the blue, and then Bennett in the red and white stripey as well. She just come up from the under 17 age group, but Boffey extending at the front, looking very, very comfortable. So inside 30 seconds for that first 200, of course. We know as running fans, 2 minutes is a huge barrier for females in the 800, but she's inside 60.03, I do apologize, at the halfway marker, so she's well on for her personal best at the moment if she can hold it together, and she looks to just string it out as well. It's now Downs leading the chase pack. They've got a little bit of a gap on Hudson, doing a brilliant job. Don't forget, she was third in the European under-18s last year, Downs, so she wants to follow in Boffey's footsteps. Here comes Boffey into the home straight then. The crowd are clapping. They know what they're witnessing here at Sheffield, a very knowledgeable crowd at the English Institute of Sport. 129, she's picked it up. She can sense she's on for 2 minutes, Boffey. She's got to keep it going on the back straight. I'm looking to see if I can see Luke Gunn out there as well, cheering her on. She extends now, she goes to the arms. She's run a very, very even race. She's 145 at 700 meters. Can she hold it together? Down the home straight, Boffey. Downs in second as well. Here comes Boffey, no one in sight. We're looking at the time here. It's going to be a personal best, I believe. 2:01, 2 minutes 99, unofficially. Unofficially, what a run. Molly Hudson in second. There we go. Grace Agnes in third as well. And the 2 under 20s, Downs and Bennett battling for fourth and fifth. Goodness me, Boffey. 2 minutes 99 on the clock. It's a personal best for her. She's clearly wintered very, very well.
Congratulations there to Isabel Boffey, because the thing that she knew, and we did because we were looking at 2 minutes, is that that is a European indoor qualifying mark.
There we are, Jeff Whiteman next to me, just announcing it is also a European indoor qualifying mark as well, which she's got. So she can now just look ahead to the British Indoor Championships on the 18th and 19th of February. Fair play to her. To run 2 minutes on January the 8th is very, very good, given Christmas and New Year and the conditions we had to battle over that period, the cold weather, the wind as well down in Birmingham for Boffey, but terrific run. She's going to be very, very happy with that. And where will she race next will be the questions for the fans watching at home. Again, you can check the full results, the official results on the roster app. Do check in with that. I'll try and bring you official results throughout the day as well. It comes under the England Athletics Senior Under 20 and Under 23 Championships. And I can try and bring you the official results. But like I say, unofficially, 2 minutes 99 for Isabel Boffey. Really was cracking running. And now we have, what can the women's B race do? That's next up at 12:30, so just off in a couple of minutes' time. We've got Louise Gilbert, Lewis Creasy, Erin Grimes, Charlotte Young, Maya Thompson, Tamsin McGraw, and Shen Wigfield Turner as well, right on the outside, the under 20 athlete from Hallamshire.
Wearing number 435 and representing Middlesbrough AC is Lewis Creasy. And on the inside,
so we'll give you a bit of background on this. Look out for Lewis Creasy, the under 20 Middlesbrough athlete. She's going to go in lane 2. She's got the all blue vest on. 7th in the English schools over 800 meters last year. And Tamsin McGraw as well, 56 400 meter speed, Sheffield and Dern. She goes in lane 5 in the all black, the bright fluorescent spikes on. 2:08 personal best as well. So what can these ladies do? I mean, they've got to be inspired from Boffey's performance just a few minutes ago. If you're just joining us, we're in 2 minutes 99 inside the European qualifying standard. These ladies just being held on the start line. The starter just checking a few, just making sure everyone's behind the line, of course. Green card, maybe a few problems with the starter's gun. Always a nervous time for the athletes. Well, away they go then. Right on the outside, Turner, inside of her, McGraw, Thompson, Young, Grime, Greasy as well. Gilbert right on the inside as well. Who's going to lead this one? They break nicely, slotting into place. I said, look out for McGraw. She has got the quickest 400 speed. So often so, you have natural front runners in the 800 meters, and she is one with a 56-second 400 personal best, a 208 personal best. She slots in at the front, and behind her, Lewis Creasy from Middlesbrough in the all blue. And just coming round on her outside as well is 438 Maya Thompson, the under 20, 211 personal best. So they're nicely well inside PB territory for these ladies, well inside that 210 mark. A lot of them just hovering around that marker. Like I said, 209 for Charlotte Young as well, midway and Maidstone in this one. So McGraw still up at the front. We'll get a 400 split in just a moment. Don't forget, 4 laps indoors for the 800 meters. She comes around for the second time and on her outside, the Woodford Green, that's Louise Gilbert. And as I say, that Creasy moves round, 66 of 400, so 212, 213 pace for these ladies, which would be good. Well, definitely season's best showing, of course, given it's the first one of 2023, but touching on their PB, stretching out now is Creasy, the under 20. She was 7th in the English schools last year. Well, what can she do coming into this final lap? This is a crucial point, the crucial split in the 800. We saw Boffy, this would have been almost her quickest split of the day in the previous race. And what can Creasy do now? Gilbert on her shoulder, 138. So a good 32-second clock in again, probably not far off their quickest split of the day over 200. Creasy and Gilbert now. Out front, when's Gilbert going to make her move? If at all she can. Has Creasy got more left in the tank? McGraw in third, 100 to go for these ladies just inside. What can they do round this bend? Coming into the home straight. Now, top bend, McGraw in third. Gilbert now challenging Creasy. Can she hold her off? Come on, Creasy. The under 20, Gilbert's going to take it. Experience wins on the line, 212, and what an evenly paced race. They held strong over the last few stages there, and it could tell as they pulled away from the rest of the field as well. Gilbert with the win, 210.76. Creasy, the under 20, second place, did the hard running midway through that race. 210.70 for her, just outside of personal best. Brilliant running from those ladies, of course, rewarded with the season's best. Not far off that 210.50 qualifying mark for the British Indoor Championships. I'm sure they're going to keep one eye on that later in the season. Plenty more times, plenty more opportunities ahead of them. I believe a few more meetings at this Sheffield Indoor Arena, a few at Lee Valley as well. Can they get that qualifying mark and that invite to the British Championships? Where, of course, they will have the privilege of competing against the likes of Izzy Boffey, perhaps Keely Hodgkinson, Alex Bell, Laura Muir, Gemma Riki. The women's 800-meter running is endless, and throw Lindsay Sharp back into the equation. We saw her compete over 600 meters on Friday night in Glasgow. BMC meeting up there. 128 high, so shaping up in good form is Lindsay Sharp. First competition since, well, 2019 out in Doha at the World Championships. Always good to see athletes coming back. She's coming back from giving birth as well to a baby boy. Next on the track then, the women's 800 C race. That's going to be followed by the women's D race. And then we've got the men's D and C races before the 1500 action. It's going to be at 10 past 1, so don't go anywhere. The 1500 start at 10 past 1, then they're going to be followed by the 3000 meters. And of course, looking ahead to Jake Whiteman, what he can do over that distance. But I'll run you through the lineup in them. We've got 4 in this one. In this C race, I believe, we've got Eden Creasy, who's a Middlesbrough athlete as well. And a younger sister to Lewis Creasy, who just got second in that one. So a 2:13 personal best for her. So the two sisters very close in age, very close in performance as well. On her outside then, Annabelle Hedge, the under-20 from St. Albans, 2:11 personal best. She has run 2:16 already this year. Down at Lee Valley, just after New Year's, Hannah Roberts, the Bracknell athlete, on her outside. She's going to line up in lane 3. The English school silver medalist in 2021 over the 800 meters as well. So watch out for her, 2:10 personal best. And then on the outside of her, we've got Harriet Tucson and Jessica Lark to complete the lineup, the under-17 West Cheshire athlete now. She's an interesting prospect. She's coached by Trevor Painter. And whenever you see that name, you have to think of Keely Hodgkinson and Jenny Meadows, the work they do. And Trevor, obviously an established 800 meter coach, taking on a lot more athletes now. And she's just an under-17, already running 2:13. So how's she doing? You got to pay attention to the athletes who are up and coming. The athletes take their marks. Okay, Lark, Roberts, Hedge, and Creasy. These four to go round the bend. Roberts with the fastest time in the field, 2:10. She's an English schools silver medalist as well, the Bracknell AC athlete. Bases herself up here now at Sheffield University as well. So a nice local track, a nice local race for her. But she lets Creasy, the under-17, take the early lead round the bend. They slot in much closer. And on Roberts' outside, Roberts in the yellow in second is Jessica Lark, like I said, coached by Trevor Painter, who, of course, coaches Keely Hodgkinson, our best 800 meter runner and one of the world's best 800 meter runners as well. Creasy through and around about 33, 34. So we should be quite comfortable for Roberts, I would have thought. Quite comfortable for probably most of these girls. It sees they look comfortable. Anytime it's a tight pack in the 800 meters, you know perhaps the pace is just a little slack compared to when they're strung out. Often in the 800, they're strung out quite early with that fast, you know, first 200, first 400. But Creasy looking very good. And it's her age group competitor, Jessica Lark, in second as well. The 217s lead, 67-2. Good running. Can we see a negative split here to get down around that personal best mark, that 213, 212 that these girls have run before? That's where their PBs lie. Creasy doing all the work. Jessica Lark, I wonder when she's going to make her move. She looks like she is, but it's Roberts to come round the both of them. A sharp injection of pace and does gap the field, bided her time. She's going to come in for the penultimate time is Roberts, the Bracknell athlete. She's an English schools medalist through her time in 2021. She looks good. Coming up to the bell now, 1:41 at 600 meters. So around about the same pace. We're going to see probably around about 2:15 if they can hold it together, perhaps even a little bit quicker. Creasy running very well to stick to her task, the under-17. Can she battle? So gussy, but now Roberts just opening up. Look out for Annabelle Hedge. I haven't mentioned her, will race in third. She's closing up on Creasy, but it's Roberts coming off the bend now into the home straight. She's had it all her way since she hit the front after about 400-500 meters. Roberts is going to take it. Creasy in second, 2:14.72. Good, strong running. Hey, that's good early form. And of course, for Roberts, she's going to have one eye on the Bucks competition as well. The Bucks Indoors later on in this season, about a month's time or so, representing Sheffield. That's back in this arena. So a home competition for her. Brilliant running, extended, great tactics from Roberts, bided her time. As we now move our attention to the women's 800D race, which is just coming down onto the track now. And I'm just going to check in with James Rhodes, because I've got to ask him what he made of that Isabel Boffey performance.
Oh, it was rather fantastic. I mean, I can't think of the last time I saw an athlete speed up on the third lap of an indoor 800, and it's really good to see her get an outright PB. I think one of the things I said at the start of the year for a prediction was that we'd see, I think it's the 30th sub-2 British 800 metre runner, and with the string of races that Izzy's got lined up over the next few weeks, I wouldn't be surprised to see her be the person to do that.
It's some marker, and that's just credential. Credit to the 800 metre running for the women at the moment in this country is just phenomenal, isn't it? You know, to see her knocking on 2 minutes, and we could probably count 5 or 6 athletes on our hand who could go and do the same.
Definitely, yeah, and I'd say even someone like Abby Ives, who's running in a little bit in the 1500, has shown great improvements last summer, and I've no doubt will be doing the same come the first few indoor 800s that she does this year.
That's a very good point, actually. You know, Abby Ives now at Birmingham University as well, switched to a watchful eye of Luke Gunn as well, so probably training alongside Boffy. But here we are then, the women's 800D race lining up. Ellis Saunders from Reading AC, she goes on the inside. Magdalena Conchiva of Kettering on her outside. Holly Ovens, Sophie Harding, and Alina Bartolotta on the outside. Quite a few under-17s, 4 under-17s in this race, so they'll be looking at each other. They've got their own under-17 championships as well indoors later in the year, but how close can they get to that 2:15 mark? Mid-teens for these women will be a great performance. Off they go then. It's very, very even. No one wants to lead at the moment, but it looks like it's the tall figure coming round her as Saunders is up there. Conchiva just sitting in 5th place, biding her time as well. That's 4:50 then. Alina Bartoletta, the under-17, seems content on hitting the front. 31 through 200. It is quick for these ladies, but they all look good. They look smooth and relaxed running this pace, and that's the most important thing. So we'll watch out for Conchiva. She may close up. Saunders in 4th in the all-black, the Reading AC athlete, but Bartolotta out in front. Is so often the younger athletes just, they know one way, and it's get out hard and maintain, and it's survival of the fittest. Here we go. We're just losing a few lights here in the Sheffield Indoor Arena. I hope it doesn't fall to these ladies on the track. Bartolotta looking very, very strong at the moment then. 63.8 at the bell. And in 2nd place, Sophie Harding, Vale Royal. You can't miss that vest, the fluorescent checkered, blue and checkered vest in 2nd place. Nothing separates the two at the front. Nothing separates the two behind as well. Harding and Saunders as they just open up this gap now. Bartoletta out in front as well, and Harding. They're going to be on for a big PB if they keep this pace going. If they're going to be anywhere near 140 with a lap to go, 139.3 with a lap to go. So they're on for a massive PB, the pair of them, if they can keep it going. Bartoletta 2:13, her personal best. So she's just got to get inside 34 seconds over this 200, which is doable. If Harding can help her out and come wide, maybe contests for the win. It's been like this all race long. And Bartoletta has done a terrific job. Has she got a bit more in the tank? Harding just can't seem to swing round her. It's so hard when you're moving at pace in the 800s. Here comes Bartoletta. In she goes. Terrific run, 2:14, almost a mirror of the C race we saw Hannah Roberts win as well. But Sophie Harding's going to get rewarded with a big, big personal best, a 4-second personal best for Harding. I got her inside 2:15, and her personal best before was 2:19. So terrific run, a huge shock to the system for those ladies. 800-meter running in January is ever so hard. It usually take about 7 or 8 races to warm up into the 800. To really find your groove, find your rhythm. It was Frank Corwell who found that. And of course, his work can't be ignored when it comes to the British Milers Club as well. If you've grown up in this country, you've grown up following the Frank Corwell model of training. Well, here we go then, just a couple more 800s ahead of us. 2 more to be precise. The men's 800D followed by the men's 800C. Ben Brooker is going to line up on the inside of this one, 4-2-1. I can see him, the Kettering man. A couple Kettering teammates in this. Leo Stark, under 20, Newport Harriers. Let's make the long journey from South Wales. Henry Cullen, Callum McLeod, Josh Geddes, and Christian Green from Holmfirth on the outside. He's the fastest in the field, is Chris Green. 153.9. It's his personal best. He's in the all black, so we'll look to him to take up the early run. And these gentlemen, these 800s have done a terrific job in just getting out there and running hard. There's been no pacemakers in any of these races. And I've got to admit, you almost don't need one in the 800 indoors. Like I said, you're not battling the conditions. You're get a clear run. You haven't got to check your stride, swing round. The pacer hasn't got to pull out at all. And so often you've got enough competition around each other as well. It is one of the middle distance events where the less you think, the better. So I'll run you through the lineup once again. Brooker, Stark, Cullen, McLeod, Geddes, and Green. Away they go then, nice fast start for these gentlemen. They're gonna break, they're gonna hug the curve all the way around till on the far side. They're gonna break nice and controlled. We hope it's the two Kettering men who hit the front then. Brooker and Geddes hit the front. It looks like they almost slow it down a little bit. The two club mates, the Newport man in second. You can't miss him in the yellow. That's Leo Stark, the under-20 athlete. He's just on the shoulder of Brooker. Both under-20s, quite a few under-20s in this one, in fact. And here goes Stark then, just inside, a clip inside 30 seconds at 200 meters. And he looks like he wants to move things along a little bit. They're all well inside 2 minutes for their personal best over 800, so it's going to be relatively comfortable for these men. And look at Green on the back straight, make a big surge forward. He takes the early run in now. He's going to do the hard work, similar to we saw Boffy do. What can he do over this middle 400 meters now? He's coming up. He's going to see his half lap split, 59.50, so quite relaxed for these men. On course for around about 1:59. Just a clip inside 2 minutes. It looks like they're all picking it up, but none of them can keep pace with Green. And if they can, they want to treat that gap as a little elastic band, a little battle then for second. And here comes Henry Cullen of Doncaster. In fact, he's going to give chase to Green. Green's not going to have it all his own way coming into this last lap. He's picked it up again. Every 200 has been quicker and quicker. But look at this move from the man in second. Look at this. Green now is going to have to hold off the Doncaster Cullen. 1:55 his personal best. Here he comes in. Green saves a little bit. Coming into the home straight. Here comes Cullen as well. Great surge from him to close that gap, but it's been all Christian Green. He crosses the line. 1:56.88. Not a bad opener. Cullen in second. A comfortable second as well. Good. He gave chase, but he could never get quite on to Christian Green. And that wraps that one up. 1:56.88 for the win. Men's 800 D race, so just outside personal bests for those boys. All under 20s though, got a bright future ahead of them. C race comes on over while they get a few strides in. Quickly ushering them off the track, thick and fast here in Sheffield are these 800s, but this is the final one of the 4-lap race, 2-lap race outdoors, of course.
So a range of times here from 1:51 up to 1:53. So slightly quicker than the race prior to this. So those declared. Just looking down here. We're down to a field of 4.
Okay, so let's get a few names going in this one. I can see Ted Chamberlain right in front of me. He's in the all black. Red spikes, look out for him. Holmfirth as well, so he's just seen Christian Green go and do the business. Can he follow in the footsteps of his teammate? He's a lot quicker than his clubmate, a 1:51.7 personal best. Exeter Uni student. Again, this is a nice opener for him, considering Bucks Indoors, he's going to have one eye on that. And if you're running around 1:51, 1:50, come Bucks Indoors, you're amongst the medals. Certainly a spot in the final. Matthew Mustard, what a name, Sheffield Uni man, 1:53.99. He goes right on the outside. Brecon athlete in second, Jack Organ. He's in lane 2. Right on the inside then, Scott Temple. Scott Temple of Hartlepool. And away they go then, so Temple, Organ, Chamberlain and Mustard. So Brown and Clisham do not line up in this one. And it is Temple who looks to get the fast start. Looks very, very smooth early on. He's well inside 14 seconds for that first 100. This is good. These gentlemen operating around about that 151, 152 mark. So expect to see 55 just inside of 400. But boy, does Temple look smooth. 26 high at 200 meters. He looks very smooth. Maybe a bit of a 400-meter background. Chamberlain giving chase. He is the fastest in the field. The home first athlete. There's a nice gap in front of him. One he can just keep an eye on. But he still gets a smooth, clear run as well. And it's Mustard who slots in behind, and then Organ at the back in fourth place. So just four of them line up. Well, Temple not faltering just yet. Through in 54.8, which is very, very strong running. They're inside 150. You'd expect them to wind up in about 151 here, but Temple just looks so supreme out front. Upright, good rangy stride. Chamberlain not making any inroads on him yet. 300 to go. If this is outdoors, you kind of start your kick. I do feel indoors, you just save a little bit. You almost treat 200 to go as the 400-meter mark on an outdoor track. So here comes Temple then, still at the front. It's all closed up just on the straight there. 123 at the bell. Temple, Chamberlain, Mustard, and Organ. It's remained like this all race long. I'm sure they're not complaining. They haven't had it to fight and barge and chop their stride at all. They're all at max speed at the moment. 100 to go, you would expect that. Can Temple hold off? Can he be rewarded for his hard work? But is Organ, the under 20, coming round on the outside? What can he do into the home straight? And here comes Chamberlain. Well, he's the quickest in the field, and he's proven it. Smooth run from him. 153 in the end. That's a hard way to run it as well, off a quick first 400. Well done to Chamberlain. Timed it well. I mean, he let the gap open a little bit in that first 400, but it was a quick early pace. 26 high, 53 mids. 54 mids, I apologize. So good running from Chamberlain. Probably showing the experience there, the senior athlete, Mustard, Temple and Organ, all under 20s or under 23s. And nice work from Chamberlain. He'd be very happy with that. Nice start to the season for him, a nice start to 2023. Giving a little thumbs up to his coach, who is just located above me. Directly above the start here at the Sheffield Indoor Arena. Like I said, we've lost a few lights. A little dark down on this bottom bend. We've got a heap of field events going on the inside, of course. It is the England Athletics Combined Events Championships as well. So we're seeing a lot of pole vault going on at the moment, men's and women's. But next up, athletes warming up on the far side. We've got a little 20-minute interval, so grab yourself a cup of tea, grab yourself a little snack, and settle in, because next up we've got the 1,500 meters coming up at 10 past 1, so around about 15 minutes to go before that. And we're going to be kick-started with the men's B race, followed by the women's A race. But we've got some great runners in that. I'll read a few out for you now. Alice Wright, Sabrina Sinner, and Kai Malenga. And Kai Malenga, of course, fresh off of the European Cross-Country Championships, where she represented Great Britain in the mixed relay competition. She won the mixed relay, or short course, as it's known, back in November at Liverpool. Former English schools winner, and she was 10th outdoors over this distance. So a slight pause in the program gives us a chance perhaps to catch up on a few results. Like I say, live results are on the roster app, but I can certainly read out a few for you now. First race of the day saw Archie Parkinson winning 151.32, which was mightily impressive given he front ran it all on his own. Ben Gardner was second, 152.38. Chris Byron in third, 153.01. Jack Kinraid was fourth in 204.45. Linton Gardner unfortunately did not start that one. And then we turned our attention to the A race, which was won in a slower time. Henry Fisher, 151.49. A tactical affair, if you like. Zach Curran is second, 151.55. Mike Wilson, 151.85. Angus Harrington, 152.13. Actually, an indoor personal best for him. And Ben Murphy, 153.08. got to read out a couple notable performances on the women's side as well. Isabel Boffey, 2 minutes 99. That's an outright personal best, not just an indoor personal best. It's a European indoor qualifying time as well. Puts her hat in the ring for the European indoors, given the strength in depth we have over 800 meters. Molly Jane Hudson was second in 2:08.56, just outside her lifetime best. Grace Van Zagnu, 2:08.63. Alice Bennett, a personal best for her, the under-20 athlete, 2:09.73. And Iris Downs, 2:10.06 in 5th place, with Charlotte Young to complete the field in 2:15.22. So that was your women's A race. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, like I said, all the results live on the roster app. So be sure to check them out. We've got a short break now until the 1,500 meters at 1:10.
Break now, mate. I was going to say, you offline.
I'm just listening back. The mic's actually really good because you can't.
Pardon?
I thought I'd listen back. I didn't know if it was picking up like them on the announcer. Yeah. But the mic's class, like literally, unless you hold it here, you can't hear anything. Like can't hear my background noise at all. So yeah, so because I thought, right, it's overbearing, like saying the same thing, like surely, but yeah, couldn't hear anything. So dropping out, isn't it? It's a bit weird. Don't need everything. I think when you lose the lights, you lose a bit of the heat as well.
Yeah.
The last time it happened, they'd lost the phase. They'd lost the phase the last time they did it. One section of the electricity supply. It took 3 weeks to get it back on.
Yeah, it wouldn't look like an easy job to...
Because cameras on the wall, they struggle to see anything.
Yeah.
I put infrared cameras, so you can see anything on the line.
Oh, for the photo finish and stuff. Right. Is that
Cameras on the wall, you won't be able to see anything.
Right.
Just be grayed out.
It's too dark, really? Wow. She's not running today? Really? Oh, that's a shame. Bit of a shame. Mind you, that women's 15 is still looking pretty good with Malanga and...
Yeah.
Over on the far side of the arena, we've got the seniors getting ready for their shot competition. 2 pools over there. The under 20 men in the middle getting ready for their housing competition. And we've still got on this side Sam Talbot in the bulls for 47s. We've got 2 quite close attempts to that. Already several personal bests.
This is definitely not cross country.
Have you seen that course before? It's a really interesting course.
Yeah.
Let's see what the results are. Amelia Quirk in step 12.
Pardon?
Amelia Quirk in step 12 round.
Yeah, I think we sent it to British team because Sat Mohammed was 9. How did they do?
They were 10th and 11th.
Oh, probably thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
That's 6. That's decent.
I was going to say, she's above those 2. Rebecca Murray, 18th as well. The men's must be running or something.
Men's is done.
Is it done as well? I didn't see it.
Only because I saw it off
Did you?
Today's Weekly.
Vegas, you know. Of course, it's mental. Right. Well, just joining you back after a little short break. After all those 800-meter races, we now move to the 1,500 meters. First event, 10 past 1, is going to be the men's 1,500 B race. After that, we're going to turn our attention to 3,000-meter races, which are coming up for you at quarter to 2, 1:45. That men's 3,000-meter A race, of course. Jake Whiteman lines up in that one. Tom Keane, Charlie Wheeler, Zach Seddon, Phil Sesman. Absolute stellar start list to enjoy later on. But before then, let's talk you through this 1,500 B race then. We've got Mike Cummings, Adam Day, Steve Bryce, Kieran Sexton, Mark Booth, and Oscar Schofield. I'm intrigued to see if I can see him out there. 4.64. Sale Harriers, under 17 athlete, but he's under the watchful eye of Trevor Painter coaching him. I mentioned Jessica Lark earlier being coached by Painter, but Schofield does look like the real deal. Third at the English schools in 2022. He's second at Liverpool cross country earlier on in this winter, back in November. He's clearly wintering well as the under 17 athlete, and he did, of course, win the UK School Games last year as well. So with a lifetime best of 3:53 as an under 17, that's pretty good going. Anything sub 3:50 as an under 17 is exceptional running. It really is. So he's knocking on the door. So over on the far side, just 4 of them lining up, so there's going to be a few missing. So I'll bring you the ones who are not starting today, but I can see Mark Booth and I can see Oscar Schofield. I can tell you that much. So over on the south side, we do have a pacemaker potentially in this one. Ben Gardner due to pace in around about 2 minutes through 800, which is exceptionally quick for these gentlemen, given their PBs are outside 3:50. But I can't see Gardner down there at the moment, so perhaps they've adjusted that. So they just wait the starters' orders on the far side. The men's 1,500 B race. You can see Sexton, Booth, Schofield, and Bryce. Those are, and I can now see Ben Gardner. I can confirm he is going to place this one. I think at the moment he's just going to chat through with a couple of the athletes. And he's just going to say, look, are you sure 2 minutes is the time you want at 1,500? Perhaps some of them are in great shape and we don't know about. Often the time with this time of year, you don't know how people have wintered off the summer. They can make massive strides forward and really obliterate some personal bests. But, you know, if you've got a personal best from outdoors this season before, I'd be surprised if you can take huge chunks off it. So we'll see what they go through at. Like I said, 3:52 would be around about 62 seconds per 400. So look out for that over on the splits. The takes to their marks. And away they go. They're nice and control. Mark Booth goes off pretty quick, wants to slot into second place, maybe third place, and it's Schofield who's right on the pacemaker, Ben Gardner. So I said about the pace beforehand, but you never know what you're going to get with an under 17, especially one who's coached by Trevor Painter. He could be improving rapidly. A huge talent. He's already had a phenomenal winter, second at Liverpool, which is virtually a British Championships over the cross-country event, and he's right on the tail of Gardner, and they are quick through the first 200. 29 seconds is very, very quick, especially for an under 17. I think Matt Shirley's got the British record, 3:44 he ran, and that's around about this pace, to be fair. So if Schofield can keep this up, he's knocking on that pace. Looks pretty comfortable, rocking a backward tap. Clearly confident. Gardner, we saw him earlier in the 800 meters, competing, running very smoothly, around about 1:52. He ran, so Schofield still on pace then. If we're going to see what he's going to run at 400, bang on 60. He's right on the tail of Gardner. Can Gardner stretch out and really get this man through 4, 5, 6 laps even? It'd be awesome if he could get him to 800 meters, maybe even a K. And the crowd now realize what they're watching. They get behind him. He's still on pace, evenly just clipping off 15-second hundreds. It's Adam Day, Mark Booth, and Steve Bryce in that lead pack, or chase pack, shall I say, behind. But it's Day who's leading it. 1:30 exactly at 600. Schofield still on the tail of Gardner. He's got a phenomenal rangy stride. Here's Schofield, and he just looks relaxed. I'm right by him. I'm right on trackside, and I can report a few grimaces just appearing just ever so slightly in his face now. Chain just dangling around. Gardner's going to get him to 800. Can he get another lap out, though? The crucial part. Can he get him to a K? Because he's going to be all on his own as soon as Gardner drops out. Day and Booth, both in the all black, in second and third. There we are, 2:01. 2:02 at 800 meters. He's got a lot of work to do himself. He's only just over halfway, is Schofield. What can this young man do? He's still an under 17, don't forget. This is good running for a senior man, let alone an under 17. The Sale Harrier Manchester. He's keeping one eye on the clock every lap. He's got 400 meters to go now. 3 laps to go, I do apologize. Day and Booth in second and third. Booth just hugging that inside. He can't let a gap open up, both in the black. 2:32 through the K for Schofield. And he's still looking strong. He still looks like he's got another gear to give. His personal best, can I remind you, 3:53. Perfect pacing through 800, 400 meters to go now. 2:49 on the clock. He knows he's got to go some to get inside that sub 350 mark, which would be phenomenal running. May I remind you of the British Athletics Indoor qualification standards as well. It's 350, so can he nab that? He looks like he wants it. Does Schofield. Here he comes, perhaps tying up a little bit. Here comes Schofield into the last lap. Crowd are giving him a good clap home. He's had it all by himself. 3:20, he's got to go some. He knows what he wants, sub 350. Here come Day and Booth as well. Booth does a terrific job coaching. He's going to have a big last lap. 200 to go. He sat on Day the whole way, but Schofield now just going to the arms. Coached by Trevor Painter, training partner of Keely Hodgkinson. What can he do? 50 meters to go now. Here he comes, Schofield, Oscar Schofield, people. An under 17 from Manchester. An English schools medalist, a UK school games champion, 3:52.53. And you know what? It's an impressive run. Mark Booth second, Adam Day third, and coming in fourth, Steve Bryce. But he ran it the hard way, and he'll learn. He'll learn, and sometimes to get those big performances, you have to be brave. And he was brave. He wasn't scared of the pace at all. Bang on 2 minutes at 800 meters, which is well inside personal best effort, but he held strong. Terrific running. He's thanking the pacemaker, Ben Gardner. He couldn't have done it without him, but to be left out there on your own, isolated and just still working, just we're looking at the clock, is a horrible thing to be doing. He's clearly showing his maturity, even at the young age of just 16. And I'm sure he's got that sub 350 clocking in him to qualify for the British Indoor Championships later on, obviously the 18th and 19th of February. Down in Birmingham, that one, of course. So 1500 women's up next. They're going to be on in just around about 4 minutes time, 1:15. 18 past 1 to be precise. And we've got some great athletes in that. I have had some rumors spreading around the Sheffield Indoor Arena that Abigail Ives, the phenomenal under-20 prodigy Birmingham Uni athlete, coached by Luke Gunn, will not be appearing in that race. Struck by a little bit of illness, a little bit of sickness. Of course, that's another challenge for these athletes competing in early January is, you know, can they get through the dark time in the winter where there is a lot of illness going around? And can they stay healthy? That's the first battle. Can you get to the start line healthy, raring to go, and then can you perform? But regardless of Abigail Ives not appearing in this one, we have got some fantastic athletes. We've got Alice Wright. Now look out for her. The Brighton, she's going to be repping a Brighton Phoenix vest. I can't see her either. was going to say, based out in America, based out in Flagstaff. She's a European Championship. 22nd place in the marathon, 2:29 marathon personal best. I was a bit surprised to see her on a 1500-meter start list, I must admit. And I can't see her, so yeah, to clarify, no Alice Wright, no Abigail Ives either, but that doesn't stop us from having a fantastic line. It's Sabrina Sinner, the Cambridge Harrier, third at the UK Outdoor Championships last year in 2022, third at the Bucks Championships in 2022 as well, over 1500. A real racer is Sabrina Sinner, and Kai Malanga as well. She is a Hoka-sponsored athlete. Hearts Phoenix is her club. Already mentioned her winning that short course back in November, representing Great Britain at the European Cross Country Relays out in Turin. So I'll point her out, but she is the English champion over 1500 as well. So you expect her and Sinner to be battling it out in this one. And Lauren Church as well is going to complete the lineup, the Reading AC athlete, 420 personal best. Again, keep one eye on the clock. A lot of girls in this will probably have the British Championships indoor qualifying time. However, just to reiterate, it is 4:33 is the indoor qualifying time for these ladies. So you expect a lot of them to be inside that with their personal bests. And expect them to almost already have an invite through the post. So here we are, the full lineup then. Hissock, Williams, Bennett, Sinner, Lloyd, Malanga, and Church.
Placemaker here is Louise Gilbert. She's been tasked with taking them through in 67 for the first 2 laps, and then to 2:15 at 800 metres.
And I can report the pacemaker is going to take them through in around about 67 through the first 400. And it's going to be, they want about 2:15 at 800 is the mark they're looking for. And 67 is good running. They're going to be on 4:11 pace, 4:12 pace, which is right on Sinner's and Malanga's personal best. They're at 4:12 and 4:14 respectively. So what can these two ladies do today then? They line up and open their campaigns. So just waiting for the starters' orders. We're bang on 18 past 1. Hissock, Williams, Bennett, Sinner, Lloyd, Malanga, and Church. No Alice Wright and no Abigail Ives. Which is, of course, is a little bit of a shame. She ran 2:01 for 800 in the summer, did Abigail Ives, and training partner now of Isabel Boffey, coached by Luke Gunn as well. She's the English champion over 800 meters for the under-20 age group, and represented GB at the World Under-20 Championships out in Cali, Colombia, where she finished 6th as well. Here we go, then a little bit of patience from the athletes. The nerves just creeping in, just building the first one of the season. They just want to get it. They just want that gun to go and get stuck in. Not so much get it over and done with, but just compete and know kind of where they're at fitness-wise, how it felt, and what they need to do in training. So away they go. Lauren Church right on the outside in the bright pink, if you like. But as we expected, we've got Sinner and Malanga straight to the front. I can't see a pacemaker in this. They'll know each other well through the age group, so I do wonder whether they'll just share a little bit of the pace. It looks pretty comfortable at the moment. Sinner just keeping her eyes fixated on the clock there, and she would have seen 19:20 seconds, which is a pace these ladies will do mile reps at. It looks very, very pedestrian at the moment for Sinner and Malanga. They got no interest in running too fast, and nor is anyone else by that looks now. That's the problem when you get two heavyweights, if you like, in the race. Everyone else expects them to take it up, expects them to go, and they don't. they don't come around them. They don't have the brave or the experience to trust themselves, to go their own pace. But Sinner, interestingly, 40 seconds through the first 200, and now she decides she's going to start running and start picking the pace up, which is a very interesting move. It is early season. We may see a few, different tactics out here. We may see almost a fartlek happen, practicing their racecraft. I mentioned she's a phenomenal racer, third at the British Championships. You don't medal at a national championships without being a good racer. Malanga as well, she's an English champion. 72nd through there, so they picked it up. It was a 37-200 there, but still pretty pedestrian for these ladies. But it is starting to string out now. Sometimes when you go off slow, it's even harder to pick it up. Picking it up off a slow pace is much harder than we give credit for. 136 at 500. So it's Sinner, Malanga, that's Church in third, who's going to enjoy this now. She's going to sit behind them. She won't have to worry. She won't have to do any of the work. 420 personal best. And they're all way outside that at the moment, given the slow start. But here we go then. 154 through 600. We'll know more at that 800-meter mark, but things are picking up. Single file. Church just pushing Malanga out to the outside. On the bank track, it's not really where you want to be, but at this slow pace, it might be all right for Malanga to be sitting there in lane 2. Sinner still leads. Looks very comfortable. She won't be working too hard up at the front. She knows the threat Malanga is, especially winning that short course cross country earlier this winter. And she won that on a strong kick finish, so she knows the threat she's got behind her. But there we are, 229, so 75s just inside. So we're at 425, 426 pace over 1500. So what can they do? Expect a big burn up, and that is often the way. They're going to test their wheels over the last few laps of this one. Lauren Church says, I've had enough now. I want to take it up. I came here to run hard, and that she's going to do. She's going to get a good negative split as well as Church, as she's now springing out Sinner, who's just let a little gap emerge. Church does have a pretty long stride, but she doesn't want that gap to open too much. Malanga now just boxing in Sinner. Malanga just sat there the whole race in lane 2. She's been using the banks to her advantage. She just leant in on Sinner, just overtook her. Sinner won't panic. Church and Malanga now. As we approach 600 meters to go, when is Malanga going to go? She's looked eager all race long, and I expect her to just kick at any moment now. Will she have an extended kick, gradually increase her pace, or will she just leave it late? The Sinner under the cosh now, under a little bit of a challenge for third place as well. Look out for Ava Lloyd in here as well. Trevor Painter coaches her. She's now up into third place, and she's going to challenge Church and Malanga. Here goes Malanga now. She's going to kick for home. Round she goes, Church. Church isn't going to let it go. That's phenomenal running from Church. You've got to keep her on the outside. Malanga's going to have to go again. Lloyd, the under 20, is right behind though. She's going to attack Church on the home straight, surely. Malanga now hits the front for the first time all race long. She left it late. I wondered if she would or not. Here she comes into the home straight. Kaya Malanga, phenomenal running. You'd expect that from a British athlete, a GB representative, 426. It's good running off of such a slow early pace as well. Malanga wins, Church is second, and in third there, Ava Lloyd. She's going to come home, the silver medalist at the English Schools Championships. Progressing very, very well. And Sabrina Sinner there, I may have to just check back on the replay that she may have even dropped out. Something didn't look right for Sinner, the bronze medalist on the outdoor 1500. Wasn't quite herself, the slow early pace. Malanga didn't mind though. Sometimes you do just have to really practice your racecraft.
So Kahisa Malanga, Finance Painter family on the drive back with news that from Ian Hodge, that was under 15 seconds for a last 100 meters.
So feel free to head over to the roster app, check those live results. It's phenomenal running from Kaisa Malanga. I think it was a sub 15 second last 100 as well. And we're also just having reports that Oscar Schofield has got a British indoor 1500 meter record, under 17 indoor 1500 meter record. We saw his run just before that one. And 3:52 was his time. And just 15 years old, can you believe it? He has got a bright, bright future ahead of him.
He's being interviewed now for the BMC website. You can also follow the live stream with Coach Seth, just along from me, live on the call for that one. And we're coming up for our next race very shortly, which will be the 1500 meter women's B race.
Oh yes, next up on the track on the far side is the women's 1500 B race. We're going to have, it looks like a full field in this one. Jess Varley, Emma Howsham, Saskia Huxham, Kate Willis, Rochelle Harrison, Annabelle Hobday, Chloe Sharp, and Ty Brockford Langley right on the outside. And the pacemaker in this is Louise Gilbert. We saw her run a little earlier as well in the 800 meters, so she's going to be tasked with 2:10. That can't be right. 70 at 400 must mean 2:20 for the 800 meter split. 70 seconds, and if they're operating around about that, it's going to be even slightly quicker than that first race went off at. They're looking around about 4:22. Much of these ladies inside 4:30, so they're inside the 4:33 British Athletics qualifying time. So they don't have to worry too much there. Just get a good run out and see where your fitness is at early season.
Emma Hauser of Reading AC. The pacemaker is Louise Gilbert, looking for laps of 70 seconds. 1500 meter women's race B.
So here we go, under the starters' orders. On the far side, we just witnessed a terrific race. That women's A race is now the women's B race on the track. Away they go to him. Howsham on the inside, has to get out hard, avoid being cut up. She does that. Gilbert's going to swing round. Interestingly, we have a pacemaker for the B race, and it is Louise Gilbert. She's looking about 70 seconds for this one. Birmingham Uni athlete Kate Willis, City of Norwich. Birmingham Uni 4:29, her personal best. Slots in the second place. And Ty Brockford Langley in third as well. So no one looking to go with this yet. I was going to say it is a bit ambitious. It's a lot quicker than any of their personal bests. And you sometimes wish the pacemaker would maybe just chat to the athletes before and just check in what pace, you know, they want. But it's bang on pace. You know, she's doing a great job. Is Gilbert up the front, and Langley now is going to just close that gap, and looks like she wants to get onto that pace. So often the way it's almost fashion now in 1500 meter running, that patient start. That Jakob Ingebrigtsen pulls off. When you delve into his stats, his first 100 is often one of the slowest in the race as he eases into it. So Brockley Langford in second, bit of a gap, and then Emma Howsham in third, the Reading AC athlete. They've come up in fourth of the Reading AC athletes, but she's in second on her own. Herne Hill, Annabelle Hobday, the under 23, in third as well. So Gilbert's going to get them to 800 and then drop out. Brockley Langford on her own, sticking to the task now, just focusing on, can she keep that gap on Gilbert? She's broken Howsham, and now the rest of them are just packing up behind Howsham as they just queue up behind. Here goes Willis from Birmingham Uni, just easing round. And of course, Hobday as well, looks like she wants to ease round. So Gilbert still at the front. We're going to see what that 800 meter clock in comes in at, what split they're on for. But Brockley Langford, it's all her at the moment. She's going to have to pretty much solo this last 4 laps off the track. She's got 800 meters to go, 2:03 on the clock. She's running a good pace. Willis now overtakes. She leads the chase pack, and it's Rochelle Harrison. Harrison, 4:26 personal best. However, just last year, 4:44. So she's on for a big jump up in performance in the space of the year. Gilbert, 2:20. Brockford Langley is there in 2:22, so she's on for around about a personal best. 4:23, she needs to keep on it though. She's the class apart in this race. Here she comes, Brockley Langford. 3 laps to go, 600 meters, 2:40 on the clock. Willis still leads this chase back. Emma Hausham in there as well. 4 of them. Will they close that gap on Langford? It's going to be interesting, and I know Langford's done some good indoor sessions through the winter as well. So she's been training hard. Some of these might not have access to an indoor track. Maybe a long trip to Lee Valley for Emma Hausham from Reading AC, who's battling in that chase group. And swinging wide, Kate Willis has just let the lead go. And that's Chloe Sharp of Blackheath now, just looking to push on the pace. Drag Willis with her. Langford still leading like she has all race, and that gap has not changed. The leader of the chase back's changed every lap almost, but it's still remained at 10, 15 meters all race long, and Langford's now got to hold strong. This is the toughest part of the race for her. Coming up to 300 meters to go, and it is closing. Sharp of Blackheath, what a run she's had. Willis is now sensing blood as well up front, so Sharp and Willis giving chase to Langford, who's gonna just probably hear Sharp breathing down on her neck now as she comes into the home straight. And here goes Sharp. She's going to go straight by her. Can Langford respond? Sharp is the front. She hears the bell and she's off. She's looking very strong. Langford's going to have to hold strong over this last lap as well. Willis is hunting her down. Hausham is also hunting her down. But it's Chloe Sharp of Blackheath. She's not going to lose this one now. The gap is just opening up. Here she goes, 100 meters to go, 4:12 on the clock. She's going to be very close to her personal best, is Sharp. 4:25 is her PB. She ran 2:13 earlier in the year on the 2nd of January. That's why she's got the speed over these last few laps. Here comes Chloe Sharp. Great race. 4:29, dips inside 4:30. Hausham there, Willis, Hausham, and Langford, who did all the early running. Great running from those ladies. Collapse to the floor. It's a huge shock to the system. 1,500 meter in running is never nice, even when you're in your absolute prime. It's going to be the first time they would have run that hard all winter. Of course, a lot of strength work, a lot of tempo runs and hill reps. It's still not quite the same pain as a 1,500 meter race. So here we go then. The men's 1,500 A race is up next on the track. Ewan Pierce striding out. Blake Moore, who I know is in terrific shape. Dan Brooklyn studies out at Mizzou University. 2 Windsor Slough and Eton athletes in this. 4.54 Tyler Billiard, Birmingham Uni. He's a 3:46 man. All these men operating around about 3:45. But they're looking for a pace. 58, 1:57 at 800 meters. Harry Fisher set to pacemate them, so we'll see if he's around. I can't see him at the moment, but the pacemakers often just appear. Oh, I can see him. He's over on the far side. So Harry Fisher's going to line up, take them through in 58 seconds of 400. I know that Blake Moore has got a 3:42, 1,500 personal best. He's the quickest in the field, is Moore. He was 6th in the British Indoors last year. I know he wants to get in good shape and contest maybe for a top 5 finish there. He's put in some great work this winter. He's already got a 3K under his belt. Late December, just before Christmas, 8:15 over in Cardiff. But let's have a look then. Ben Sandilands from Fife. Dan Brooklyn. Can't see Sheriff of Vale Royal. Tyler Billiard's in there. Owen Pierce, Blake Moore, James McRae, and Justin Davies as well. James McRae in the all-red, the Hampshire Harrier, coached by James Thee. He's a bit of a force to be reckoned with indoors. 3:48 last year, followed that up by a big summer. 1:52 indoors as well. He's a very strong 800 and 1,500 meter man, accomplished runner is McRae. Studied up at Birmingham University as well. So here you go, your men's 1,500 meter A race. Off they go. Sandy lands on the inside, lets them all swing wide. Fisher moves round. He's going to take up the early run in a very good 800-meter runner is Fisher. He won't mind getting out too hard. Brooklyn's going to give chase. There's Pierce there in the all yellow. A newer man in second. So Brooklyn in second, a 3:47 personal best. Swansea University man, who's fifth at the Bucks Indoors at this very arena. He enjoys indoors, he enjoys this track. And he certainly enjoys 1500-meter running. And McRae there in third in the all red. So that is your top three. As I say that, Blake Moore wants to move round. He just knows he trains with Brooklyn. I know when Brooklyn came back from Missouri University out in America, and Blake Moore was delighted. He said, brilliant, we can get some 1500-meter sessions in over Christmas, and that's what they've done. So the two training partners in the two Windsor Slough and Eton men lead the chase back at the moment, and they're just keeping tabs on Fisher, who's doing about 60. They won't mind that. I think that's quick enough for them. Early January, you're doing well if you can be running inside 2 minutes for that first 800. So, but Fisher almost wondering where are they. He's doing his job. He's good to check back. He's good to keep an eye on them. Brooklyn still in second. Moore, McRae just moving up around Pierce. And look out there for Tyler Billiard as well. He's had a good summer. He's a 3:46 man, a canny racer as well, often on the BMC circuit. Blake Moore drops out. I wonder what's going on. He pinches his chest. Maybe a few breathing issues. It is indoors. Athletes find it hard. There's not much air in here. It's very, very warm as well. Well, obviously compared to outdoors. But here comes Brooklyn then. He probably doesn't even realize that his training partner's dropped out yet. He's focusing on his task. Comfortable up front, keeping an eye on Fisher. That gap's remained at 10 meters. That doesn't matter. There's no wind in the arena, of course. McRae in second looks very light on his feet. He suits indoors, does McRae. Billiard, the tall figure behind him as well, just checking his stride. Pierce looks to be just struggling a little bit. So 2:4 at 800. They will want quicker. But if I know McRae in second, he's a bit of a racer, so he's going to be fine with that. Brooklyn, I think, took one look at the clock, and he knows he's got to pick it up. He's going to know every 100 what he needs to be hitting. 220 there. You're looking at around about 235, 236 at the K marker, which is touch and go with 350. 350, that indoor qualifying time, of course. I think these men will be happy with that early season. So 235 at the K. Brooklyn leads. McRae second. Billiard in third. A little gap. Pierce. And Sandy lands at the back. Has just bided his time very nicely. And just sitting on Pierce. So here goes Brooklyn. Every lap seems to be working harder, does Brooklyn. McRae in second. He's not going to go yet. They're going to need a sub 60 to get that indoor qualifying time. Brooklyn won't let the lead go. Here comes McRae, though. 300 to go. He makes his move. He makes his kick. Billiard is going to follow him. Brooklyn needs to hold strong now. He does. Can he hold the inside? Yes, he can. McRae in front, but he hasn't done any damage. He hasn't put the hammer down yet. He hasn't gone to his top gear. Here comes Billiard. McRae's going to have to respond. Billiard sees 321. That's a 30. The tall figure. I told you he was a canny race. He's done many BMCs. Birmingham Uni base. McRae's going to fight back. Here they go, these two, neck and neck. It's not done yet. McRae, he's got the better turnover. He's got the better leg speed as McRae. Edges in front of Billiard. Are we going to see a replica of what just happened on the previous lap? Can Billiard fight back? McRae off the top end. He's got to hold the inside, but Billiard does it again. He comes through and pips him on the line. 3:49, 65 unofficially. Phenomenal from those boys. Inside 60 on that last lap. What a race. What a run from Billiard as well. Well, Pierce winds up in fourth as well, just outside 350. Brooklyn in third, held his own once they came past him. Great running from him. Results live on the roster app, don't forget. You're going to want to check what the official result was, because 350 is the indoor qualifying time for the British Championships. So those men would definitely have one eye on that. I think McRae may have just snuck inside himself. He's going to be happy at 3:48. Personal best indoors anyway. He wasn't a million miles off of that, of quite a slow first 800. And they've got to give Brooklyn a pat on the back for his early work as well. Great running from Billiard. He's grabbed for an interview, but yes, don't forget Blake Moore pulling out of that one. You wonder why he was the hot favorite for that one with the 3:42 personal best. Oh, but next up, we got a little break for 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. The men's 3,000 meter A race. 15 full laps of the track. Ali Kinloch, Phil Sesman, Ben Porticus, Zach Seddon, Alfie Manthorpe, Osham Perrin, who of course had a terrific indoor season last year. 7:54, an under 20 British record was Osham Perrin. He actually ran this same meet last year as well. I think he ended up around about 7:58. A little way behind Jake Whiteman, who was finishing 7:50 for second, and Osama Meslik obviously won in 7:50 low. You got James Young in here, Jake Whiteman, of course. Let's talk about him a little bit more in a moment. But Tom Keane, John Travers, and Charlie Wheeler, who could well be a dark horse in this one. Charlie Wheeler, MK Distance Project man. He studies, well, just finished studying at Wisconsin University. And if you're an athletics fan, a distance running fan, you'll know Wisconsin University has a rich history in producing the very best distance runners in the world and across America especially. A very strong NCAA school. Charlie Wheeler went out there for a few years after graduating from Loughborough. His lifetime best over 3,000 meters, just 7:57. However, 13:34 indoors over 5,000 meters just before Christmas. That is the interesting part. And I look at this field, and he is probably by far the fastest man over 5,000 meters, even ahead of that of Phil Sesman, the marathon man. And so he's going to have the strength, and he's going to be the one they'll look to move things along a little bit. And from speaking to him, rumors, he does want that European indoor qualifying time, 7:44. But British Athletics also have their own time of 7:50. We spoke about that with James Rose a little bit earlier in the show. So he's going to have one eye on that. Pacemaker looking to run 62.63s. And they're hard to find when you start talking about this pace. It's hard to find someone who can maintain 62, 63 every 400 and keep it going. You know, when you've got the likes of Whiteman, Seddon, Wheeler, Sesman, these boys, they want a pacemaker. They're used to having a pacemaker for at least a mile, really. You almost want him in there for 2K, so it'd be interesting to see how far the pacer can get in this one. But 1:45, this one's set to go off at. Of course, it was this time last year, Jake Whiteman kick-started his campaign. Second place to Meslik. Went away. 3 weeks later, went and ran 7:37. So, although it's important to get off to a good start in January, to show how you're wintering, to show how you're running, see how the training's going, the results, and I think the athletes appreciate that, the fans appreciate that, aren't the be-all and the end-all, really. Of course, Whiteman went on 6 months later to go and be the world champion over 1,500 meters. He always has a very, very calculated season, does Jake Whiteman. His dad, Jeff, sitting just down the road from me, does a phenomenal job at choosing the races that he runs. They're very, very specific. And he's on the mic here today, just like he was in Eugene when Jake was crowned world champion over 1,500 meters. So here they are striding out then. I'll run you through the field once again as they get ready to go. I'll give you a little bit more about them, but Tom Keane, Whiteman, Seddon, Perrin, Wheeler. Wheeler out there doing a full 200-meter lap. In the running world, we almost like to call that a primer. He's looking very good. He's going to be fired up for this one as well. 13:34 back in December. He's hungry. So often he's on that bridge of semi-professional, if you like, well, amateur runner wanting to be professional. He's on that bridge. He's the all-in at the moment. He's chucking everything at his running career. Living at home, I think his parents have given him till the end of the year. Can you sign a contract? Can you become a professional? Can you make a living out of this sport? If you can't, I'm sorry, September, you're out the house. You've got to get a real job. So here we go then, 15 laps of the track. Look out for James Young as well, 4:88, the Morpeth man in the all blue. He's got a 3:37 1500 PB, which is one of the quickest in this field behind Jake Whiteman and Tom Keane. So I'll run you through the full lineup. On the inside, Ali Kinlock, who I can't actually see. He's the only one not here today. The only one not starting is Kinlock. But next to him, Sesman, 7:51 personal best. He's already been to a European Indoors in his career. He's stepped up to the marathon. Not often you see a 3,000 meter man step up to the marathon with such success as Sesman. He represented GB at the European Championships. 17th out in Munich earlier this year. Next to him, Ben Porticus of Woodford Green and Essex Lady. 29.32 10K just last month, 3:42 1500 meter man, and 8th in the British Indoors last year. Ben Porticus. Zach Seddon next to him, 7:58.9 personal best. He's a Tokyo Olympian, a European 5th placer over the steeplechaser by trade, and now he runs over the flat. Alfie Manthorpe, 8:07 personal best. Oshan Perrin, I've already mentioned him, the under-20 British record holder, 7:54 personal best. James Young, Jake Whiteman, of course, Tom Keane, Travers, and Charlie Wheeler right on the outside. Alex Edeka is going to do the pace, looking for around about 63s. Away they go, then expect quite a fast start, fighting for position. Then they're going to look to settle on these laps early. It's all about rhythm running this 3,000 meters. Edeka in his GB singlet, looking nice and smooth up front. Tom Keane, it looks a little slower maybe, 16:17 at 100 meters, so it's looking a little bit slower than what they want, but Tom Keane there. 3:37, a phenomenal 800 meter runner as well, 1:46. Trains alongside Whiteman when they go to training camps, had a good stint in Flagstaff with him. Edeka just checks the watch, and he's now going to just inject a pace, and this is what you want to avoid, that up and down, almost fartlek type of running. You just want a smooth, even rhythm the whole way round to these athletes. So it's Keane, Sesman, Whiteman, Seddon right behind Whiteman, just like, well, they train together, I was going to say, just like in training, but I think they're pretty much neck and neck in training at the moment. So let's see how they do today. Oshan Perrin with that slightly lean style in the all-in-one singlet, the green sleeves on his T-shirt. Charlie Wheeler there sitting back in the pack. Now, he's the one, I'm just telling you to keep an eye on, 492 in the all-black strip. The long flowing locks, a little bit Prefontaine-esque is Charlie Wheeler. Nice rangy style as well. So Edeka just picking it up a little bit, and they're just biding their time, just taking their time to respond to that early surge. As Keane just nicely sitting in behind. The pace does seem to be a little bit up and down, but if we get anything around about 1:36 at 600, we're on for a good one. But, you know, it's the 3,000 meters. There's a lot of laps. You don't want to be just up and down too much. 1:35. Whiteman, Travers, behind Whiteman in the grey. Travers was 3rd last year, 7:55. He ended up running, and very good. So the athletes, this is 3K. Whiteman even mentioned it himself last year, how hard it is. It's just an awkward pace where you don't get to relax like you do in perhaps a 5K and a 10K. You are on it, you're on the gas the whole way. But Tom Keane looks very comfortable there in 2nd place. He's running very well. Whiteman in 3rd as well. 2:06, so they're on, this is good. They're sub-8 minute clocking, and you bet your life they're going to wind it up. And Whiteman finished his World Championship run last year in around about 54 seconds. He's used to running 1,500 meters in 50-second laps. He's going to enjoy slowing it down a little bit, even if it is January as well. So just a few, no gaps yet. It's just a crucial time. You just want to relax. You've got that first 800 done, the first K coming up. You just want to keep it nice to control. Keane, Whiteman, Travers, Seddon, Perrin, Sesman and Wheeler. Those are your top 7. No gaps yet. All these men are pretty much on 8 minute clocking there or thereabouts. So the telling time is going to be what they do over this next kilometre. Really, Tom Keane and Whiteman up at the front. The 2 New Balance boys. Keane, I must say, looking very strong, very relaxed. He is in good shape. Mark Weil done a brilliant job with him, obviously linking him in nicely with Whiteman every now and again, but he's had a good. Is he just pulling out? He's just looking, I think he just drifted wide. He just wanted to say to Whiteman, can you take it? I don't think Whiteman was having any of it. You know, they may train together, they may be friends, but on the track, they're rivals and they're enemies, and it's every man for himself. So it's still very, very tight at the moment. No one dropping off yet. These guys have done the work. They knew what they were getting themselves in for today. They knew this race was going to be around about 750 to 755. They knew it was going to be hard from the start, and it's early season as well. That doesn't help. But Keane, Whiteman, Travers, Seddon, Perrin, and Wheeler just moving up now. You may well see a big last lap, and I think Keane now is just drifting out. Whiteman again says, nope, I'm not getting involved. And we can now see it just bunching a little. We're just seeing 4 minutes at 1500 there or thereabouts. So we're inside 8 minutes, which is a good clock in, but expect to see a bit of a burn up over the last few laps. And we're just queuing up a little bit. Whiteman now is in front, but he doesn't want to get involved in a race. We're really bunching. And now Perrin, we thought this might happen. This man is a special, special talent. He's an under 20, 754 man. He's graduated 1349 outdoors over 5,000 meters as well. He's a bit of a triathlete as well, but now he's going, and it's those surges you want to avoid. It's slowed, and now it's picked up. Whiteman easily just checking his stride, to be fair. The world champion following Perrin, almost towering above Perrin with that slight lean. As next time around is going to be the 2K markup. Perrin, Whiteman, Keane, Travers, Young, Wheeler, Seddon, Sesman, Porticus and Manthorpe. So still a big old train ahead of them. They just want to stick at their task now. Perrin doing a great job. Bided his time. And he's doing a great job moving the pace along. We'll get a split as well. 64 would be 520. They're going to be well inside that. They're going to be inside 8 minute pace. What can they do with a K to go? Perrin. 5:19, so they're just a clip inside 8 minutes. This is tough running for these gentlemen. This is almost a replay of a year ago. Whiteman then kicked hard in just a lap or two. About 800 to go. Whiteman made a long run for home. He's clearly feeling pretty good at the moment. So it's Perrin, Whiteman, and Keane. Perrin is a gutsy young runner, though. He's not going to let the world champ have this easy. He's just turning the screw a little bit, just looking at the clock each lap. He's pretty much clipping off 30, 31 second laps at the moment. Wheeler is the one to watch in fifth, just on the back of that pack. Travers as well, and Keane. Sesman's moved up. He had a good December showing in 8:05. Sesman ran early season. Here goes Perrin. They're going to come up now to 3 laps to go. And not much has changed over the past few laps. It's going to be hurting these gentlemen out there, though. With 6:23, so that was a 63 400. So we're just about 7:58, 7:59 at the moment for these gents, and it's all eyes on Whiteman and Keane. When are they going to go? Wheeler, don't count him out. He is a 5K specialist, but he does have a pretty good kick when he wants to, and kicking in a 3,000 meter race is different to a 1,500 race, because here comes Sesman. Whiteman follows, and you just see that injection of pace, that almost that class from Jake Whiteman. He's on it, he's switched on, he's dialed in, he's very, very focused. What can he do? Over the last 400 meters, 6:57 if you like, with a bell to go if they're on an outdoor track. Keane is not giving them an inch. When is Whiteman going to go? He's on the shoulder of Sesman. This is impressive from Sesman. The guy did a marathon in October in London. He finished 10th in the London Marathon, 2:12 there. And now he's back on the indoor boards, running over 3,000 meters, competing with the world champion. Jake Whiteman, 7:25. Expect this to be around about 7:50 if he has a big last lap. Wheeler in third, moving up nicely as well. Tom Keane, Osham, Perrin in there as well. Jake Whiteman's not having his own way. Sesman's coming back. Will speed prevail or will strength win? Jake Whiteman, 2 meters on Sesman, who's going to fight back again. Is it going to be a replay of last year? Will Whiteman lose again? Yes! Sesman gets this, 7:54. Whiteman on the line. Wheeler, Perrin, and Keane have to hop him. Manthorpe in next. Travers, Porticus, James Young battling there as well. And Seddon coming home as well. What a run, what a battle. And it was just a replay of last year, where Whiteman went early. And you thought he bided his time. You thought he had that one, but Sesman I said he was coming off a marathon. Strength wins today over speed. And well done to those gents. Live results on roster app as well. What a run that was. What a race. Athletes are absolutely exhausted on the track. I told you the 3,000 meters is one of those grueling events where you can't settle. You're not in a rhythm. You're just on the gas the whole way. Every lap is near enough right on the limit. .754, the official, unofficial result. Sorry, it's a little slower than last year, but a replica in the form that WIGHTMAN went for it and just got pipped. So much can change indoors over that last 200. We see it time and time again. That home straight must be the best part of 40 meters long, but it takes forever. And I think in WIGHTMAN's case, it took a lot longer than he wanted to today. But we got to give credit where it's due to Phil Sesman. He's knocked about 9 seconds off his 3K time from in December. And that is someone Coach Andy Henderson is doing a phenomenal job with. He really is, in the sense that, you know, to get him recovered from a marathon in October, where he was running 2:12, and he ran in the European Championship Marathon in August as well. And, you know, 3 months he's turned around and he's out here operating over 3,000 meters at his, you know, very best. Not far off his best at all, you know, and he's going to probably have another crack and target that European Indoors. But for the likes of WIGHTMAN and Seddon, they're going to now head off to South Africa tomorrow. I believe WIGHTMAN's going to travel back down to London this afternoon. He's going to wake up tomorrow morning, hop on a plane to South Africa, get 3 weeks out there training, and he's going to line up against some slightly tougher opposition out in Boston. Over 3,000 meters again. Whether or not he's going to represent GB or whether or not he's going to choose to run the European Indoor Championships, we don't know. But he is also going to attack a 2,000 meters British record attempt in Birmingham on the 25th of February. That's the World Indoor Final, the World Indoor Tour Final, shall I say. Okay, so that's the men's race cleared up, over and done with. What a race it was. Next on the track, 3,000 meter B race. And then after that, we have a women's A race and then the men's C race. And that wraps up this British Milers meeting. So who we got in this? We've got George Rowland, Tom Bridger, Elliot Moran, Alex Durant, Andrew Penny, Freddie Richardson, Tom Moran, Joe Tuffin, John Howarth, Jordan Rowe, Alex Malloy, and Jack Goodwin. I can't see Jack Goodwin in this one, a firefighter by day. It's phenomenal. A lot of these athletes will be just operating full-time jobs and competing on this indoor circuit. Jack Goodwin's one of those 12-hour shifts to firefight, often runs after a night shift, before a night shift.
So, in essence,
he really puts in the work. He's been around the block as Goodwin. He's come all up through the age groups, and he's still here at the senior ranks as well. His personal best, 8:06. And this one's going to be pacing around about 66s, which would be about 8:15, which is sensible. The gentleman in this field. Goodwin by far the quickest. The rest of them operating around about between 8:10 and 8:20. Watch out for Jordan Rowe, coached by Lewis Moses. Studied at Lamar.
5:421.
He's looking in pretty good form. Elliot Moran as well. Birmingham student. Bucks 1500 meter finalist indoors as well is Moran.
Pardon? Yeah, that's about a point or two. Too close. 44. 44 be 100%.
So they're just waiting the starters' orders. The men's 3,000 meter B race. And away they go then. 12 of them in this race. The pacer Rob Smythe goes to the front real early. He speeds to the front just to get a gap. And now he really does need to check his shoulder and slow it down a little bit because it's pointless in being out there. As I say that, they slot in behind him, and that's Joe Tuffin of Brat. 8:12, his personal best. So he's in comfortable hands. He's going to slot right in behind Smite. And let's see if they're around about 33 seconds. If they are, they're on pace. The clock has not started, so I'm going to have to try and bring you some manual updates from myself. So we have no clock on this one. So settling in as they should in the 3,000 meters, all single file. And like I said, with that air race, it's one of those events where you've got 15 laps ahead of you indoors, 7.5 outdoors, of course. And after a lap, you're kind of questioning, goodness, can I keep this pace going? And your body finds a way. This is what you train for. This is what you do those grueling, hard intervals for. So nice single file train, Tuffin in there, Moran's in there just towards the back. Goodwin's right in the middle, Jordan Rowe as well in the whites, sitting in around about 4th. We'll get a few names for you out there as well. But there is someone to look out for, and that is John Howarth, who I actually don't believe he's lined up in this one. He was due to be the star of the show in this race, if you like, 3:39, 1,500 meter man. Alex Durant in there, 8:10 personal best. He's a local lad from Sheffield. He's looking pretty comfortable early.
So very little change in the orders. They come round and through the start-finish area.
So round they come then. That's going to be 600 done for these gents. In second, Tom Bridger, Cambridge and Coleridge. Well, he's would have just seen Tom Keane. 2:10 at 800. It's a nice split. They're bang on 65s. That's why it's pretty strung out at the moment, and I'm sure many of these are going to find it hard to just keep that going. They've got to keep on it and work together. You can't let any gaps open up. You see Goodwin just fighting hard to just keep that gap at an absolute minimum. And that's kind of all you have to do indoors. Just look at the man in front's feet, look at the back of his head, and just say, I can't let this gap open up. I need a draft off you as long as I can. So Bridger there in third as well is Alex Malloy. He looks very comfortable. So the two Cambridge lads, both rocking the Adidas singlets, matching up very nicely. So Bridger, Malloy, Rose in there, and Tuffin obviously still technically leading the way in second place. Smike's going to run us through. We now have a clock on board, so this is ideal. We've been through the K. This is around about the 1200 mark, 3:17. Pacer pulls out. And I think Tuffin was hoping for a little bit more from the pacer. Now he's going to have to solo front run this as the gap just opens up to Bridger behind him. Behind him, Malloy as well. Those three have been in these positions the whole way. Jordan Rowe just moves into fourth. He looks pretty smooth again. The gaps are just opening up now. This is where it starts. You start to look at the clock. You start to look at the lap counter a little bit. But Tuffin looking very good.
So we'll be looking for around about 8 to 10 at this pace.
At the moment. So they're on. We're going to get their mile split in just the next lap when they come around. If it's around about 4:20, they're on for inside 8:10. 420 to 425 would be pretty good for these gentlemen. We'll be bang on PB pace. A lot of them in the 18s. So still Tuffin, easing his way around the front, enjoying just curving around these bends, looking very nice and light on his feet. Behind him though, Bridger just grimacing a little bit. Malloy may just sit tight. Look on the back of his teammate and know that he just needs to stick with him. When you train together, you do get that comfort. Here we are, yeah, they're just outside 65s. They were 4:23 at the mile. It's still Tuffin. Now will Malloy just choose to go around his training partner Bridger. We see the grimaces, the pace just faltering, the gaps just open up. There's a little queue of people behind Bridger. He either needs to close that gap or let his training partner come by. Jordan Rowe now following through as well. We got Andy Penny in there, Hercules Wimbledon man. 8:13 his personal best, season's best last year of 8:16. So he looks to be back to his best and in shape as well. But it's Tuffin of Bratt, and he's been out here all race. Credit to him. He just checks behind now as they come up to 2,000 meters, the last 1,000 of the race. Here comes Penny. He decides enough is enough, moves round Bridger. And he may even come onto the shoulder of Tuffin. Penny, out of all of them in that chase pack, looks very, very relaxed. Malloy still in third where he's been. 5:28 at 2K. So the big marker for them is 8:10. The standard for the British Athletics Indoor Championships is 8:08. So they're not a million miles off of that either. So here comes Tuffin and Penny. When will they make their move? 800 to go. This is where you got to kind of keep on it, but not to. And Tuffin pulls out. It's an absolute shock. He's been at the race all front. He looked fairly relaxed, and he pulls out almost unchallenged. Penny came on, and you just never know with these athletes. They could even be doing a little mini workout. He could just be getting a bit of a session in. Can he hold 2K at future race pace or something like that? But now it's all down to Penny, Malloy, and Jordan Rowe. Jack Goodwin has almost come out of nowhere, worked himself back up to this lead. Pat Goodwin, he's in the all black, he's in fourth, the Bedfordshire man, the firefighter, and he's going to latch on the back of Jordan Rowe. Brilliant running from Goodwin. Penny looks smooth. 600 to go. Malloy with that loping stride, head back. Jordan Rowe in third as well. Now Goodwin's latched on the back. These four are pretty much away. Bridge is going to try and hold on to them. He's going to have a tough mental battle over this last 500 meters or so. We're going to come down to 2 laps to go, and for me, Jordan Rowe looks very relaxed in third. What's Penny got left? We saw WIGHTMAN just lose in the final seconds, the final stages of that men's 3,000 meter A race. Will we see a similar thing here? Penny has a yard on Malloy, Rowe and Goodwin. Around about 7:12 with 400 to go. So they're going to be about 8:15. Definitely inside 8:20 for these gentlemen. Here goes Goodwin. Like I said, he's almost come out of nowhere. He was down and out through the halfway mark. He's now moved up. He's going to move into second. And you bet your life he's going to carry on past Penny, if I know this young man. Round he goes on Penny. Moves on. Gaps Penny. Can Penny respond? Malloy in second gives chase, and Jordan Rowe. 7:42 at the bell. Goodwin with 5 meters on Malloy. The Cambridge man, Jordan Rowe. Coming up from Loughborough, Jordan Rowe battling from Lamar, but it's all Jack Goodwin. What an effort this has been. He's got the gap. Jordan Rowe's going to give chase. That's surely too big to close. Here comes Goodwin. Gives a little check over his shoulder. In the finish he goes. 8:11, 8:12, 8:13 on the clock. Very good showing. Jordan Rowe, Malloy, Penny, and that is what 3,000 meters can do to you. Bridger in there as well. Fantastic running from these young boys. Elliot Moran, there he is, the Birmingham Uni athlete. He's going to prep for that Bucks Indoors a little later on, I'm sure, mid-February. Fantastic. Well, Goodwin did have the fastest personal best behind him, in all fairness, but the season's best is down on 8:17, so you just never know what you're going to get early Jan. He's clearly wintering well. He's clearly training hard. He likes a bit of cross country, a bit of the longer distances, does Goodwin, so good to see him on the indoor circuit. 8:13, and while I get a minute, I can maybe just bring you the results of that men's A race. And the results are in. And Phil Sesman won that 7:54.34. Jake WIGHTMAN 7:54.58. Charlie Wheeler with a personal best 7:57.06. Oshan Perrin 7:57.11. Tom Keane 7:57.53. Big personal best for him. An absolute dead heat for third, fourth, and fifth. Alfie Manthorpe 8:01. John Travers 8:03. Ben Porticus 8:04. James Young 8:06. Zach Seddon 10th in 8:15. And Ali Kinlock did not start that one. So that was a men's 3,000 meter A race. Coming up next, we've got the women's 3,000 meter A race as well. That's off at 2:15. And then after that, we're going to finish up with the men's 3,000 meter sea race, and that will crown out the afternoon. So don't go anywhere.
Is there a left chance? No, I want left.
Two races left in this sequence of British Milers Club events. Race 15 will be the women's 3,000 metre A race, and race 16 the men's 3,000 metre C race. Just a couple of no-shows from the declared list for this women's A race. So we'll go through them very shortly.
Okay, just 2 races left in this British Milers indoor meeting. Women's 3,000 metre A race up next. We have Bryony Gunn, Imogen King, Alice Bates, Abigail Hancock, Rebecca Johnson, Kasana Weir, Saskia Millard in this one. Stephanie Tucker, Georgie Hartigan, Elsa Palmer, Revy Walcott-Nolan, Sophie Crumley, and Hannah Nuttall, who's got to be the one to watch alongside Revy Nolan in this race. I can't see Saskia Millard at the moment, so she could be a no-show. And Olivia Kelly, also a no-show in this one. So just a word or two on Revy Walcott-Nolan. I mean, she's a Tokyo Olympian over the 1,500 meters, 7th in her heat out in Tokyo. She won the short course last year in the relay as well, represented GB at the European Cross Country Championships to Revy Walcott-Nolan. Hannah Nuttall, though, she is the one to watch perhaps over 3K. 8:56 just before Christmas. PB on December the 10th, 4th at the UK Champs Outdoors. She really has come on. Interestingly to see her here when the New Balance Manchester professional group are based out in Flagstaff at the moment for the next month or two. She's choosing to stay put and compete over 3,000 meters, get some races in her legs. And as we spoke earlier in the show, the qualifying standard for the European Indoors, 8:48. Well, away they go then. Georgie Hartigan in this as well. She's the Irish Indoor 1,500 meter champion. Look out for her. 5:26, just leading the way. And Lauren Church comes round her. And she's going to lead the race. Hannah Nuttall, quick to chase. Revy Walcott-Nolan will just look to slot right in behind Nuttall and just bide her time. It's going to be all down to Nuttall, really. She is the one that is wanting this standard. And came here today, announced that she wants that standard, 8:48. 8:56 in December the 10th, a month on, a bit more training. Can you get it? Looks very smooth. 36 seconds through the first 200. So that's around about 72. That's bang on 9 minutes, and that is the way you want to go. Sort of just build up slowly. Revy Walcott-Nolan is second. It is very, very quick. The gaps have opened up in this one. There is only one women's race here today. So we do have a little bit of a vast contrast in abilities. But Lauren Church, Hannah Nuttall, Revy Walcott-Nolan, and Georgie Hartigan as well. And just in front of her, Rebecca Johnson of Edinburgh, the 16-minute 5,000 meter runner, 9:13 lifetime best. Well, it's going to be lonely if Church is going to be just a step ahead of Nuttall. It's going to be all Nuttall. Revy Walcott-Nolan's got a challenge ahead of her as well to stay there in second with a bit of a big gap. She's going to have to really focus in, is the Olympian. And let's start bringing you some splits. Keep an eye on the clock, of course, on the screen. Nuttall moving through nicely. And Lauren Church, how many laps can she do for Nuttall? 145, wow. 8:45 pace. Revy Walcott-Nolan will be happy with this. You know, she's going to know she's a very, very experienced athlete. And not only that, Revy Walcott-Nolan's worked on her strength through the winter over the time. Like we've seen her on the cross country a little bit. We've also seen her, you know, compete in the park runs, low 16-minute park run over 5,000 meters, which is very good. Traditionally an 800, 1500 meter runner. She has worked on her strength, so she won't be panicking at this stage in the race. She'll know that Nuttall may well come back. A lot can change indoors, but Nuttall looks hungry. Goodness me, 800 gone, and she's hit the front, 2:21. So it is not slow. 8:48, that time we're looking for. And she's inside that. Walcott-Nolan is second. That gap may have just closed a little bit, and Lauren Church doing a brilliant job at just, you know, Nuttall's gone round her. She's going to help Walcott-Nolan for 100 meters, and now she drops out. Rebecca Johnson and Georgie Hardigan in third and fourth as well. That battle just opening up a little bit as Johnson just eases away a little bit from Hartigan. So it's a lonely time out here for these women over 3,000 meters. That's the K marker done, 2:57. So maybe just slowed a little bit. Walcott-Nolan, Johnson and Hardigan at 3:04, so she's operating around about personal best shape. She got to give it to Nuttall. She's come on leaps and bounds over the last few years. I think, you know, she competed at the short course relay in November. She didn't make the team after making it last year, these two. And I think she was a little bit disappointed with that. But she didn't rest on her laurels. She didn't, you know, become disappointed. And she got straight back to work, competed over 3,000 meters in December. Ran a cracking 8:56 at this very arena as well. So she knows this track, does Nuttall. And now she's not faltered. She doesn't care that Walcott-Nolan, the Olympian, is in the race. She's going to stick to her task. She wants that time. She says, if you want to beat me, you're going to have to come with me. I'm going to make it hard for the 1,500 meter runner. Rebecca Johnson now just going through 4:15. Hartigan there as well. That's the 1,400 split. Next time they come around, that's going to come around for the mile the next time. So 4:26. So we're low 850s at the moment. We are going to have to go some. She's going to need to negative split this one a little bit. Is Nuttall. Walcott-Nolan. Her personal best, bang on 9 minutes, so she's right around there herself as well. She knows what she's operating at. And Rebecca Johnson in third. So I just think that gap is opening now. Nuttall's gone through the halfway marker. She's gone through 1,500, and she's almost said, right, now I go to work. I wanted to keep it controlled, but now I really need to start turning the screw if I want to nail this standard. If I want to give myself the best shot of going to the European Championships, of course. Getting the standard is just one half of that. She's going to have to compete at the British Indoor Champs and finish top 2 at the trials in order to book her spot as well. But that gap is just open quite a bit. Let's get her on that next split. Next time around is going to be 2K. That's going to give us a good indication. And that will see us with 5 laps to go. Rebecca Johnson. So ladies strewn all over the track at the moment. The best part of 50 meters apart, all of them. Between first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth as well. Geordie Hartigan, 800 meter lady running very well there in fourth. But look at Nuttall now. She's really turning the screw. She's got the lap runners to aim for. That's only going to help her in this last K. 5:56. So that was around about a 3:02:59 K for her. Walcott-Nolan, bang on personal best shape as well, going through and just a clip outside 6 minutes. But Noah's going to have to go some. She knows, though, even if she doesn't get that time today, she's going to get it soon. The way she's front run this, is eating up the lap runners now. She comes round with 800 to go, all on her own. from start to finish, really. She had a pacemaker for the best part of 800 meters, and it's hard when you have to keep this honest pace going. All you can do is just look at the clock each lap and just go to work. She has well and truly got a nice healthy gap on Walcott Nolan now, who perhaps is just faltering a little bit. Rebecca Johnson in third, just eyeing up Walcott Nolan, and so is Georgie Hartigan as well in fourth.
Then Rebecca Johnson, the Edinburgh University student. Then Georgie Hartigan of Ireland. Birchfield Harrier.
And these ladies, ironically, all stem from the 800 meters, 1500 meter events, and they're all stepping up in distance, competing over the 3000 meters. Nuttall in. 3 laps to go. Here she comes. 7:07 on the clock. She's just gunning those lap runners down lap after lap. Is Hannah Nuttall, and this is where the hard training she would have done. Not many can train with you at this pace. I know she's got the likes of Ciara McGeehan to train with, phenomenal 1500 Irish 1500 meter runner. But when she's out in Flagstaff, she would have been putting in some hard work on her own, some hard K reps, 800s, 400s, inside race pace. And it's paying off for her now. She's going to virtually lap almost the whole field. As she comes up on 6th and 7th, she's going to potentially lap Hartigan in 4th as well. Here comes Hannah Nuttall. She's putting it down. Walcott Nolan still coming around the track. She's now got 2 laps to go, 8 minutes on the clock with 300 meters. If she can get inside 50 seconds, can she do it? That would be a big ask. It would be asking her to run about 68 seconds for that last 400, which is a couple seconds quicker than what she's running per lap. Here comes Nuttall, then the crowd clapping. They know what they're watching. 8:17 on the clock. She's got to run about a 31 at the very best for the last 200. She might not do that, but she can look at 8:50. She can look at a personal best of 8:56, and she can walk away very, very happy with her efforts today. A complete solo performance. She's lapped almost the whole field. She's going to come past Rebecca Johnson as well into the home straight. That is everyone bar the Olympian. Here comes Nuttall. The crowd are on their feet. Brilliant running. Just outside 8:50, but a personal best nonetheless. 8:52.61. There's a huge chunk to come off that, given the way she ran it. All on her own, a pacemaker for the best part of 800 meters. You've got to give credit to her. She's got to be an iron up, maybe a world indoor tour. Can she get on that world circuit? Can Hannah Nuttall? But in comes Reve Walcott Nolan, the Olympian, in 2nd place. She's going to be 9:20. That's a tough showing for her. When you're all on your own, when it gets tough, it's very hard. Here comes Rebecca Johnson. Here comes Georgie Hartigan as well. A very, very tough showing for those ladies. And in 6th as well, 5:23, Kasana Weir, Thames Valley Harrier, Yale University. She's must be real close to a personal best. And there you are, Jake Whiteman offering water out to the athletes down below. With a performance like that, I think Hannah Nuttall will be looking at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix potentially. Can she squeeze into that? Can she head out to Boston? Set the track alike. She's definitely got the performance in her when you look at that run. So just one more race to go then here. That was the women's 3,000 meter A race. And don't forget, all live results on the Roster Athletics app. I do recommend using the app as opposed to the web browser. It seems to be a lot easier to navigate than the web browser. And I'll bring you, once the result is official, what Hannah Nuttall ran there today. But the final event of the day is going to be the men's 3,000 meter C race. And we turn to that. That's due off at 2:30, so just a little break before that.
So we come to the final BMC race of the afternoon. Many thanks to England Athletics for allowing us to run this series of BMC races in the midst of their multi-event championships. To become a regular feature. Correction from my side, combined events, apologies for that. So, the runners in this final BMC 3000 metres.
So here we go, the final race of the day at this British Miles Indoor Grand Prix. What a day we've had. Some terrific racing, the likes of Jake Whiteman out here. We just witnessed Hannah Nuttall. Don't forget Isabel Boffey setting the track alight early on in the day. 2 minutes 99 over 800. Well, we're going to finish up with this men's 3KC race. Christian Tung, Luke Davis, Ian Thomas, Xavier O'Hare, Chris Perkins, Dave Clark, Jack Davies, Cam Smith, Oakley Denson, Elisha DeMello, Stephen Denby, and Charlie Eastock as well. And there's a few athletes to watch here. None other than Luke Davis as well, Western Tempo. Under 20 man, pretty new to running, and it's always interesting when you see someone new to the sport. You know, how far can they go? Where is their ceiling? You just don't know. So his personal best, 8:36, which is strong running for an under 20. It really is. Anything, you know, 8:20 and below is virtually, you know, top 10, top 15 in the country for those under 20s. But the fastest in the field, I will just mention, Charlie Easter, Hercules Wimbledon. He's going to be rocking a cap indoors. Nice yellow vest, easy to spot. 9th in the indoor champs in 2022. 8:20 his personal best. Ben No doing a great job coaching him. So here we go, and we've got Rob Smike is going to be the pacemaker, and he's going to look to take them through in around about 68 seconds per 400, which, of course, is going to give them around about 8:30 a final time, which is going to be virtually a PB for almost everyone in this race, bar Eastock and DeMello. And Ian Thomas, under 17, Kamada man. Watch out for him. Very, very good on the cross country. 7th at the Liverpool cross country as an under 17. 5th in the inter-counties as well. So here we go. Last job of the day for Rob Smike. He's done a great job pacing. The earlier 3K as well. He's made sure he's got a good workout in. He hasn't come here for nothing. So where they go, nice and settled in around the first bend. Smike's going to go to the front just like he did in that B race earlier on. And a few arm drops just to say, yeah, let me in. There's no rush. We've got 15 laps ahead of us. We'll see what they come through this first 200 in. They give us a very good indication of around about what they're operating at. Clock not working. So Cam Smith, a Glasgow Uni man, 8:33, his personal best, right on the tail of Smike. Behind him as well, you've got Chris Perkins of Bertley, 9:11, his personal best. He looks like he's going to obliterate that just being in the race, let alone being up there in 3rd place. Charlie Eastock of Wimbledon as well, settling into 3rd. He was the man I said to watch. He's the fastest man in the field, in the yellow and the cap in 3rd. Looking very, very smooth. But Rob Smike doing a good job up front then. And I'm sure we'll get the clock working in a little while. There we go, just right on cue. So 66 is probably a little quick for these gents. but they won't mind that. A bit of money in the bank early in the 3,000 meters, but like I said, it's one of those events you are on the red line the whole way, so you do perhaps want to go off slower rather than quicker when you're operating over 3,000 meters. But no complaints up at the front so far. We've got Smike, Ian Thomas, the small under 17, just moving around mid-pack, 5:07 on his number. Lovely flowing cadence, lovely rangy style as well. And just bouncing along there in 5th place at the moment. Yeah, 8:42, his personal best. And like I said, for an under 17, if you start running 8:30 and below, your class is very, very good, and you do start to near the top of the rankings. So no change here in this men's 3,000 meter C race. We're going to get that 800 meter split. They look on quick. They're a bit quicker than on schedule. They wanted 68s, really. 2:13, okay, 67s. It's not too bad. We're low 8:20s. And for a lot of these men, this is unknown territory this early in a 3,000 meter race to be operating in 8:20 tempo. So still up at the front, Cameron Smith doing a nice cruisy job. Pacemaker drops out now, and he has to take the lead as I say that, he just gaps the Berkeley man behind him, Chris Perkins, who is an under 20, and moving straight round him is Charlie Eastock. He knows what he's doing. He's done this before. This isn't his first 3,000 meter race. He's got the experience. He just knows to keep that gap. But it's still Smith leading the way then. 1,200 meters done in around just a clip inside 3:20. If that pack can stay together as close as possible. And look out for Stephen Denby, City of Norwich man. 8:34 is personal best. He's looking pretty smooth in 4th as well. So if these 4 can break away and work together, like I say, Cam Smith's going to slowly try and turn the screw and drop them one by one. Easter hanging on in there. And so is Perkins, and so is Denby. So it's interesting to see how this unfolds over the next lap or two. There we go. Next time around will be the mile split. We're going to get that 1,500 split, though, which perhaps is a little bit more relevant in a 3,000 meter race. So word on Ian Thomas, he's still putting in a good shift on his shoulder. He's going to have to hold off Dave Clark of Wickham, who's towering above. So around about 4:10. So we are operating at 8:20 pace at the moment, and these boys are looking good. They're making light work of it. Looking really smooth. We're just halfway. This is the telling part, that what happens over this next 500 meters. But so far, they're relaxed in the shoulders, relaxed in the face, and that's the telling sign. Smith and Easter, Perkins and Denby. Perkins and Denby look like they might be having a little battle for 3rd and 4th. Like I say, Easter based down at Hercules Wimbledon. That's his own club. Ben Node, his coach. They've got a terrific men's group down there, and so often churning out K repeats, 800s, 400s. A massive group, so he won't be alone in training. And Cam Smith up at Glasgow University. He's braved a tough winter. He's probably relishing the indoors. The Nottingham man getting this done before he heads back to university. He's still up at the front then. What are they going to swing around in? Next up, we're going to look for their 2K split. But Denby's just drifted around. Perkins now in 3rd place. Nothing has changed in the last mile or so. Smith starting to grimace. Easter still looking relaxed as ever. I wonder if he'll throw his hat off at some point. When he means business, of course. But Denby and Perkins has just managed to get back on it. It's almost like he's had a little word from the coach and he's got right back on it. Right on the back of Denby, who perhaps has even slowed a little as that gap just opens up. And Smith doing a great job at just churning this one out. A little drop out, the Windsor man. Oakley Denson, I've just seen the under 20 has just pulled out, unfortunately for him. It's tough, it's lonely out there. Not for these two at the front though. Smith and Eastor, they've accompanied each other all race long. Perkins and Denby have done the same. These boys aren't lonely, they've got tough battles in their hands. Ian Thomas just edges clear of the wicked man O'Hare. And he's coming through. I'll keep a note of what pace he's on. His personal best 8:42. He's looking very smooth. These boys are running 8:20 odd. He's going to be inside 8:40, I would have thought. He's only less than 100 meters behind. But Smith did 600 meters to go. 3 laps left. They're getting into kicker territory. You start thinking about your finish now. You start thinking about how much you got left in the tank. It's all about measuring your effort from this point out. Smith, Eastor, Denby and Perkins in 3rd and 4th. Perkins seems to be enjoying himself in behind Denby, just biding his time. I think he's just almost waiting when he's going to make his move. So Perkins has moved round Denby into 3rd. That's what's going on down a little bit further down the field. But here comes Charlie Eastor. He's the man with the quickest PB. He's sat in behind Smith. He's took advantage of him. And now he's gapped him with 400 meters to go. Can Perkins do the same against Denby? And I say that Smith's not going anywhere though. He's holding strong. They're definitely both working very hard. Ian Thomas 7:33 with 400 to go. So he's going to be near enough a personal best at that sort of effort. Eastor coming up to the bell. He's going to see a couple of lap runners in his sights. Charlie Eastor now gaps Smith. Will Smith rally and come back? Here we go. Here's the bell. He's got to go to the arm. 7:50. He's going to be just outside his personal best, you would have thought. Cam Smith is going to be well inside his, and that's the telling sign. Maybe he'll settle for a personal best and a 2nd place. But Eastor's now getting his own way up at the front. He's clear of Smith. Smith rallying a little bit. Eastor going to the arms. His head rocks back. He's had the hats on all race long, a perfectly judged race, and he's going to bring it home and get the win. This is the final BMC race of the day. 8:22, a good last lap. Smith there and right behind him, 8:23 probably. So Eastor outside his PB, Smith inside his. Denby fights back for 3rd against Perkins. Terrific running from him across the line. Those boys are going to be near 8:30, which is a big PB for them. And here comes Thomas, the Commander man, in 5th place as well. Well, there you have it. That is the final race of the day. That wraps up the BMC meeting. And just keep your eye out, because like I said right at the start, this is the first of what is going to be a 50-race season from the British Milers Club. They see a catalogue of PBs stretch out over the summer, as well as a whole host of races, none other than their BMC Grand Prix as well. Great racing from all. And thank you for tuning in. I'm your commentator, Matt Seddon. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, hello. Yeah, not bad, mate. You good? What have you been up to, man? What are you doing here?
Actually,
Electronic time?
I was just watching.
Oh, really?
Time, like,
Yeah, ages. Watching.
ages. Can't remember the last time I actually watched it.
Man, what's going on there? What's going on with Vinco? Any work for me soon? Any work for me soon? I looked on the portal the other day. And I saw it was like,
Not a lot, to be honest.
nah.
I mean, there's be editing stuff.